Ball headed home to Newcastle.
This is the Lawrence County Sportsnet.
Coming to you live from a wet and soggy Sox Russo Stadium in Lawrence County, it's WPIL High School Football here at lcsportsnet.com, Lawrence County Sportsnet, powered by LCAP. As tonight, the Big 7 Championship on the line as the 8-0 Southside Rams take on the 7-1 Union Scotties. Tonight's broadcast at lcsportsnet.com and on the Triple Live High School Sports Network is brought to you by Maley Chiropractic, by Luxembourg Garbett Kelly and George, by MVP Insurance, by the Red Zone, by Castle Asphalt, by the Newcastle Transit Authority, by Washington Center Physical Therapy, by Medore Bonner Law, by Penn Ohio Bottled Water, by Health in Motion Physical Therapy, by Pontius Insurance, by Joseph's Marketplace, by Dorn Concrete, by Gem Builders, by Works in Progress Paint Services, by BMF Tax and Financial, by 96 Shine Company, by the City Rescue Mission, by Something for Your Wall Photography, the Tri-County Principals Association, the Union Area Education Association, the Union and Mahoning Township Volunteer Fire Departments, and the Lawrence County Community Action Partnership. We're about 20 minutes away from kickoff. Again, the undefeated Southside Rams currently ranked number 2 in the Triple Live High School Sports Network rankings for Class 1A. Union, 7-1 overall. They are ranked number 5. Both teams ranked in the state as well. A winner tonight will be the Big 7 Conference champion. The loser tonight still could technically get a share of it with a win and the opposition losing the following week, but the head-to-head is all in favor of whoever wins here tonight. We're going to have a fun one here, but what we're going to do during our Washington Center Physical Therapy pregame show, we're going to step aside, be back. We'll have the band performances for a pregame. We'll break this one down between the Scotties and the Rams. Back in a moment here at lcsportsnet.com, Lawrence County Sportsnet, powered by LCAP.
Joseph's Marketplace is Newcastle's favorite family-owned hometown grocery store and coffee shop. Fresh meats and produce, full-line deli, homemade foods, and much more. Joseph's Marketplace has hot foods prepared every day. They also have Newcastle favorites like grape leaves, hummus, and wedding soup available daily. Follow Joseph's Marketplace on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates or stop in to see what's cooking each day. Come hang out at the brand new cafe and bakery, full of great coffee, drinks, sandwiches, snacks, sweets, and free Wi-Fi. In a rush? Go to josephsnc.com and place your cafe order online. Joseph's Marketplace, family owned and operated since 1915.
For 20 years, Maley Chiropractic has treated athletes of all ages to help them get safely back to the top of their game. Maley Chiropractic has 3 full-time doctors in their office, and all 3 are former area athletes who have had to battle injuries throughout their careers. They want to help you get safely back on your feet. But more importantly, help stop the injuries before they happen. Prehab before you rehab. Attention all high school student athletes. During your sports season, a $30 visit to the Maley Chiropractic office includes an adjustment and/or all therapy is necessary. From the athletes of tomorrow to the weekend warriors and everything in between. Let Maley Chiropractic keep you in the game.
For more than 120 years, people have been relying upon Martindale Hubbell's AV preeminent rating to select their attorneys. If you're involved in a workers' compensation situation, you should do the same. LGKG has been AV rated for over 40 years.
Looking for a unique way to expand your business? Advertise on the Lawrence County Sportsnet and be seen by thousands of viewers in the area and around the country on over 100 broadcasts each year. Visit lcsportsnet.com and click Advertise with LCSN.
In workers' compensation, my clients are oftentimes not receiving their wage loss. They're not receiving their medical expenses. LGKG, they come to us so that we can put them in a position to pay their bills. If we're keeping our promises, our clients are getting the justice they deserve.
After 2 shoulder surgeries, my doctor wanted me to go to his physical therapy, which was out of town, and I chose Washington Center Physical Therapy.
The availability is absolutely amazing. When we call to get an athlete in, we get them in the exact same day.
I see many patients preoperatively for orthopedic surgeries. Those patients who use Washington Center have the best outcomes.
The bottom line is Washington Center Physical Therapy is your best choice for physical therapy.
Call us at Washington Center Physical Therapy, serving the community for over 20 years.
This is our Washington Center Physical Therapy pregame show. When your doctor orders physical therapy, tell them you have a choice in where to go. Choose Washington Center Physical Therapy, centrally located, in downtown Newcastle. I'm James Dotson. We'll bring Mr. Eric Thomas in here momentarily as we get ready for our countdown to kickoff, just in about 15 minutes' time. And it is unfortunate the weather working not in our favor here tonight. We had a pretty decent-sized rainstorm come in a little after 5 o'clock, fighting through that. We're clear for now. There's supposed to be one more cell potentially coming in right here at kickoff, but then after that, we should be, knock on wood, in the clear here as the Union Scotties hosting the Southside Rams. Again, Union at 7-1, Southside at 8-0 overall, and we'll just turn it over now to the Union Area High School Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Devin Householders and their drum majors Elliot Laskuka and Charlotte Duralu.
Your paid admission to this event entitles you to an exhibition of athletics and an educational setting. While we encourage a competitive game, we also want to show respect throughout the contest. All spectators, players, and coaches at tonight's game are expected to practice good sportsmanship. Remember the Whitfield motto, sportsmanship. The only missing piece is you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome the Union High School Marching Band. All those that can and will, if you would, please rise. And gentlemen, please remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem and remain standing for the alma mater and fight song.
As the Union Scotties Marching Band performs the alma mater. Again, Scotties against Rams coming up here. Kickoff just about 12 minutes away. Eric Thomas, now all dried off and ready to go. Sir, we're about to have a lot of fun here tonight. It's unfortunate with the weather, but it's still a crowded place, especially trying to get in right now. People are waiting in their cars till the rain stopped, and now we're going to have a packed house here tonight, I think.
Yeah, it should be a good game. This is two really battle-tested teams, two teams that are hungry for a conference championship. They're going to win, and one of them is going to win it here tonight. And it's going to be very important for this Union team, James, to be on their P's and Q's, so to speak, when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. defensive line's got to stand put. They can't get any pushback. They can't let this Southside offensive line really control the tempo and control the clock in this game. And it's probably going to be a game, too, depending on field conditions and what happens here with the weather in the next 15 or 20 minutes or so, when you take your chances on the field, too, because obviously Union's going to want to throw the football. And, you know, Southside, they'll throw maybe 8-10 times a game. They won't do it, though, if conditions don't give them the opportunity to. They played a playoff game last year against Mapletown, I believe it was. They were under center the whole game, ran every time they had the football. So if they feel comfortable doing that, Union might have to kind of pick and choose when they decide to go to the air.
Well, and you look at what they did last year, though, Union, when they were a run-first offense, only had, I think it was 12 touchdown passes in the entire season, and then 13th with the backup quarterback in the state semifinals. So 13 total touchdown passes last year. You talk about Braylon Thomas already with 21 this season. Definitely the passing game has been a huge part of the evolution of the Scotties offense here this season.
But he also keeps plays alive with his feet, too, and he's a leading rusher on this team for a reason. And he can scramble. This might be the type of game where he might have to keep a play alive and scramble around a little bit. We saw him do it in week 1 against week 0 against Mohawk, and just what he's able to do when the pocket moves around. So really, that's going to be up to the offensive line up front, defensive line not getting any kind of pushback. But listen, he's the best player on the field, regardless of who is opposite of this Union team. So if they have him and he is upright and he can move and he can make plays happen, Union's going to have a chance regardless of what happens any other point in the game.
Let's talk about the defense as well, though, and what Union's going to have to do defensively. It's so difficult to go against the wing T, and Coach Nee was very direct about it, and that he was very indirect. He didn't give us much information at all about how they were planning, but they have a couple tricks up their sleeve of something that they're intending to try to do tonight.
And you can do a couple different things with the wing T. You can use your linebackers, bring them up to the line of scrimmage, or you can keep them in the middle. You can bring your safeties up. We might see that tonight. Bring them up kind of on that edge a little bit. A lot of teams will employ 4 safeties almost when it comes to the wing T. The key for this defense tonight, James, is going to be the guards, whether they pull, watch the guards, make sure that you don't really sell out and go after the ball right away, because you don't know if that ball's getting pulled back and the quarterback's going to keep it. You don't know if he's going to hand off. You don't know what the motion. What makes Southside's wing T so difficult to defense against, not the fact that it's a wing T and not the fact that so few teams run it, it's the motion that they put in there, and it's also the fact that they have 15 guys that have carried the ball this season. So you have no clue who's going to get it. You have no clue based on formation who's going to get it. That's what they like to do. They kind of throw, if it's a multiple scheme, if there is such a thing in a wing T, Southside runs it. So they just have to be careful, Union does, to not sell out right away and just go right after the ball, kind of let the play develop a little bit, stand pat, and then make a play on it after that.
And the big difference, too, with Southside that I've seen this year and watching film is that they're not getting – I mean, they are still getting their 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but they're also breaking off the big plays out of it. Touchdown runs of, I think it was 42, 55, and 60 last week against Laurel. So they're having the athletes that have the speed that when they do have an open space, they're not going for just 5 or 6 yards. They're going for 50 or 60 yards, and that one is what makes it very difficult for them too. But at the same time, you can look at it the other way. They haven't played a 4-quarter game. Every game that they've played has been or most have been a mercy rule, and each have been at least a 4-touchdown differential in the game as well. So you also wonder the attrition of playing a full 4 quarters, how that could play out.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and this Union team was tested in week 0 against Mohawk, and everything that they threw at them. Remember, that was a game in which Mohawk had a 3-score lead at one point. Union rallied to win it, so they've been pushed up against it more so than Southside has this point. It's been pretty easy for this team. They've won 12 of 13. You go back to the game last year against Union, Southside's won 12 of 13 games, and they're kind of in a situation now where they can feel it a little bit. And we talked to Luke Travelpiece before the game, and he said, we haven't won a conference title since 1999. It's a big deal to these guys. This is, in putting such a big game early on. It doesn't matter about playoffs, but they want a conference championship right now. Union's hungry for it too, but it really is just probably going to come down to who's tougher mentally, physically, who's got the stamina late in the game, and we'll see what happens. If Southside has their way, they're going to have the ball for 45 minutes, and this is going to be no contest.
But at the same time, if that does happen, that also means that Union can have it for 15 minutes, and all it takes is one play before it is right on cue, lights out, when you have a guy like Braylon Thomas. And talk about the weapons, too, around him. Obviously, you see Dane Jonke with the numbers he's put up, 11 touchdown receptions this year. Again, as a team, Union had 13 touchdown passes. He's got 11 this year, but now I look at Grayson Blakely, a kid who didn't have an official catch last year. He's got 5 touchdowns, like pick 6, and he's a ball hawk on defense. Another, I think, back-to-back years now with 7+ interceptions defensively has been really fun to watch him. And then Mike Gunn, somebody who they are just finding ways to get the ball in his hands, whether it's running back, wide receiver. Well, Wildcat, by the way, he threw a touchdown pass last week.
And they are also guys that have had big games at various points of the season. They've tapped into every single one of them to have a big game. Jonke had 4 catches, 190 yards against Rochester, 2 touchdowns in a game against Shenango this season. Blakely, he's had a big game. Gettings has had 2 touchdowns against Springdale this season. Gunn, 110 yards against Northgate last week, 116 against Rochester. Much in the way that Southside shares the wealth, this Union team has gotten very good at sharing the spotlight offensively. Obviously, a lot of attention's on Braylon Thomas, but as far as that second piece, that running mate, so to speak, everybody's shared in that this year. And just like they have to worry about who gets the ball, Southside's going to have to worry about who's going to have the hot hand for this Union offense tonight.
And if there is one person who is being covered tightly on the outside, you got 4 or 5 other options that are each very viable options to go to as well, which is a big difference. And how did we go on the entire pregame without mentioning that we could see history tonight? Yes. There has never been a Lawrence County player to get 1,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing in a regular season. Now, Braylon Thomas did it last year with the assistance of playoff games. Ernie Burks at Neshannock about 10 years ago did it with the assistance of playoff games. But no one has done it in Lawrence County in regular season play only. And it's only been 15 players all time, or 15 players 16 times in history in the WPIL that you've had a double millennium guy. We could see that he is 124 rushing yards away. Let me confirm that number. Where'd it go? 126 to tie, 126 to get to 1,000. So he needs 126 yards here tonight to make that happen.
Yeah, and if he does have that 126 yards, chances are Union's maybe not having their way with Southside, but they're having a pretty good night. So I expect him to be, again, focus is on him. He's going to have the ball in his hands at all times. The quarterback's the point guard of the offense. They always touch the ball. They really dictate what happens with it. And he just has such a good field vision of knowing where to run, knowing when to take his chances. We saw him gut that thing out against Mohawk, and he kept the drives alive, moving the pocket and just taking off a run. He is a threat from anywhere. And this is going to be a test for the Southside team. They haven't seen an offense this potent all season long. They have, you said it, ripped through the entire schedule, and they have not had a team opposite of them, really, likely since they played Union last year, that has had this many weapons ready to go and throw it all at them in this game.
And, I mean, the only thing you can say that it might be a question mark is the Southside schedule they've ripped through. I don't have the exact number in front of me, and I saw it this morning. I apologize I didn't write it down. The opponent's record is something like 16-56 on the year. Southside's a good team. There's no doubt about it, but you also got to take that with a grain of salt. Their reception will dictate a lot of what's going to happen with the game, and Union getting the football first, in my opinion, I think really helps.
I do too, and I think this is a good move to have the ball first. You want to get your offense comfortable in the elements here tonight. Looks like we're actually this is going to hold off a little bit here at latter stages on the night, which is a good thing. There was a very small cell that was moving over this portion of Lawrence County, and it looks like maybe it's moved out of the way. So get the offense on the field first, get them accustomed to what it's like, let them kind of control the clock first. And the other key thing in this game, you have to put Southside in a hole. So if they can jump out early and make sure that they get the lead early, that is going to be huge for Union. You want this Southside team playing from behind.
It's not going to work out, it looks like, Eric Thomas, because the kick sticks on the far sideline, and it looks like Southside has recovered the onside kick. Oh, what a incredible start for Southside and a devastating start for the Scotties.
Yeah, no, you got to know that ball's live and move to it, especially if you see it popped up like that. And Union just, they had somebody run over to try to get it. Southside knew exactly what they were going to do. They probably lined the personnel up on that side of the field to make sure they got down the field fast enough, and here we go.
That'll be 1st and 10.
Going to see this Southside offense taking charge right away, and we'll see what they don't expect them to do anything different. They're going to come out and they're going to run the football just like this.
A huge run it is, and getting into the secondary before Gunn makes the tackle on the pitch. That's AC Corfield, one of the captains as a sophomore, goes from the 28 down to the 12, so 16 yards right away and a first down.
You look across their offensive backfield, and Corfield, Pavlovich, Navarra, the big three-headed monster. Navarra actually has the worst yards per carry of those three, and he averages almost 10 yards a carry.
Rest of the starting line was presented by Doran Concrete. You're going to see Matej Pavlovich as the main back, Brody Almashi the quarterback, Slayton Williams as the tight end. You'll see Ben Bird and Carter Wilson as the receivers. Another pitch now going to the far sideline. Not as much room this time, as holding on is the freshman Gianni Million for a short gain. Winning on first down is another one of those keys to the game I think are going to be important today, Eric.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And you have to – this is part of the Union defense being patient and just –
neutral zone.
It's going to take a while for this Union team, I think, to get the cadence, the timing, the tempo down too. You hope that it happens quick. You can't give them yardage either. This is you have to put, again, these wing T teams behind in games. You have to take something away that they want to do, and a lot of anytime you play a wing T team, they want to have the lead and they want to be able to control tempo and the clock. If you can take that away from them, you're going to probably be successful.
So they've moved the ball inside the 10-yard line, mark it at the 6, second down and 4 now. And again, motion up front, and there's the flag. It was thrown late, but there was motion up front, so the 5 yards given, 5 yards taken away.
Funny to see that from a team that, again, thrives on patience. And I thought it was sort of funny this week that Luke Trevelpiece, the head coach at Southside, he had said, you know, we have a lot of tough guys, but we don't necessarily have big linemen. I'm sorry, sir. You do have a big lineman up there in Eddie Glover, who's 350 pounds on the left side of that line. Watch the formations with this team, too, because when they bring the tight end out and they put him on that left side, a lot of times they go away from that side of the offensive line. They have it set up here. A lot of times they'll work to the right if they line those two up on the left.
Inside trap is the call here, and up the middle, bouncing off 1, 2, 3 tacklers, fighting towards the end zone, and he's in there. A 11-yard touchdown run.
That was Slayton Williams, I believe. Check that, Navarra. Yeah, they brought Slayton Williams in, and they, a lot of times, like we said, just before that play, will like to go to the opposite side. They don't necessarily concentrate on going left when they bring that extra blocker in. Navarra, just another tough runner. He's closing in on 1,000 yards, had a big season a year ago. He's got a big season going on this year, and that's what you don't want. You want that turnover, and you want this Southside team to control it and get it right down the field. They only had to go half a field, but that's not a good start for Union's defense.
Yeah, just a 28-yard drive as the Matej Pavlovich is good. Quickly 7-0. Southside leads Union. We'll be back in a moment on the Lawrence County Sportsnet, powered by LCAP.
When the high school season heats up, make sure you have the best gear to support your school. Head to the Red Zone on Wilmington Road in the Shannock for all your county sporting apparel needs. From sporting goods to custom apparel to embroidery and more, the Red Zone has it all. Quality gear for all 8 schools in the County of Champions. Stop by and enter the Red Zone or visit them online at theredzonesports.com. Score big at the Red Zone. When it comes to shopping for insurance, there are thousands of options out there. MVP Insurance proactively shops and compares your policies to find the best coverage and rate. Josh Mathur and David Verratti want to provide you with the level of personalized service that you know that you are the MVP of their agency. They simplify insurance so you can live stress-free. Visit one of the locations in Xenia Leopold or in New Springfield, Ohio. Call MVP for the win. Proud sponsor of the MVP of the game on the Lawrence.
Another short kick, and again, tough time falling on it. Southside's on top of it again. So twice they've just done a little squib to the far sideline. The first one, the player slipped, could not get to it. This time it just died in front of him, and it looked like...
Unbelievable start to this game. You don't think that they'd go back to it a second time in a row. They do, and they're trying to keep it away from the weapons that can return for Union, and that's a good job. You know, you got 2 guys back there. Usually it's Thomas and Gunn who can take it to the house. Keep it away from them. They've capitalized now twice.
Hand up at the middle, and there's a big response. Who else but Jamel Mitchell hits the man in the backfield for a loss. And that's something you don't see very often. In fact, last year, no negative rush plays except for a dropped pitch play.
Seeing Chase Knox, the left guard, and Mitchell a little pushing and shoving after the play. But that's what you want from your defensive line. If you're not going to give up ground, make sure you are in that backfield right away. It's imperative that a defensive line does not give up any room against the wing T team. Those guards and tackles pushing everybody forward, you got to make sure that you're not giving up at least anything, not even an inch.
Take a look at the Scotties defense. We haven't even had a chance to look at the Scotties offense at all. They're going to go jet sweep near side, and Navarro nowhere to go this time. Lucas Stanley with the tackle for no gain. You know, tell you what, 2 onside kicks go in favor of Southside, but maybe that kind of woke up this Union defense.
Yeah, you would hope so. If you're Kim Nabaldia, you want this team on its toes now. And we were wondering what they were going to do with their outside linebackers and really the secondary. You can keep your corners in coverage if you have 2 out there. You can keep your safety back. He doesn't have to bite on the runs. He can run up the field when it takes off. But those outside linebackers and any safety that they bring up, that's going to be critical here. They're going to be big in stopping these wing attacks.
Fake to Pavlovich, throw deep over the middle, looking down the field and not out in front. And there's a late flag thrown down the field. Late flag is going to get the Scotties faithful very upset. Coach is calling for uncatchable. No such thing in high school football, but that, I don't know about that one. There might have been contact, but that one didn't affect the play.
No, it didn't affect the play. Oh, that's a bad call. Plain and simple bad call. There's no need for that. Flag should be picked up. Even if there was contact down the field, that did not impact the ability to catch or not catch the ball at all.
And there is no such thing as an uncatchable ball in high school football. However, you're exactly right. It has to interfere with the way the play can be made. And you're going to get boos here, understandably so, from the faithful here at Sox Russo's, because that flag was thrown about 3 seconds after the ball hit the ground, too.
And the coverage had rolled over to that side, too. John Key, I think, was the one that came over to try to help late, thinking if the pass is caught, you have the extra defender there to make the tackle. There was no contact from that late coverage stepping over. That's just an unfortunate and a very bad call.
Now, all the breaks going Southside's way early, a couple that they've done on their own. Here's a busted play, looks like, and that's going to work out to the favor as Almashi has a convoy in front of him, and he's going to go 20 yards into the end zone. That was a busted play that he just took right up the gut and somehow finds pay dirt.
That's the problem when you have so many guys that can carry the football. Anything like that can happen. Almashi's the kind of guy, he, much like Braylon Thomas, does it in a different way, but he's a guy that can take it to the house as well. That's understanding your offensive line, knowing where the blocking is, knowing what the play is, knowing the moment you can strike and capitalize on that mistake. Bad start for this Union team. Unfortunate with the penalty, but regardless, you got to shake that penalty off and make the stop, and they have not done that on 2 series yet.
14-0 Southside leads as the Pavlovich kick is good. We'll be back in a moment here at lcsportsnet.com, powered by LCAP.
Tired of gasoline costs? Why drive? Let the Newcastle Transit Authority take you where you want to go. Serving the city of Newcastle and stops throughout Lawrence County, as well as weekday service to Pittsburgh. Public transportation just makes sense. Why drive when you can relax and ride? For more information or for route schedules, log on to newcastletransit.org. The Newcastle Transit Authority, going your way. And remember, senior citizens ride free.
Castle Asphalt and Construction is driven to provide quality, cost-efficient pavement-related services to Western Pennsylvania. Every paving or construction service at Castle Asphalt begins with a thorough site inspection of the area to allow their team of professionals to become familiar with the unique conditions of your home or business. Once the site inspection is complete, Castle Asphalt provides you with a detailed plan of the design, cost, materials, and time of completion, so you know exactly what to expect during your construction. Visit castleasphalt.com to request a quote for your next project and make your dream.
Now this time the short kick taken in the air on the far sideline. I believe that's Grayson Blakely coming all the way up, and now we'll finally get to see Union's offense for the first time, but they trail 14-0. They were going to receive the opening kick. Fields taken advantage of, and 2 Southside touchdowns. That's why you got a 14-0 advantage.
Get your offense on the field, get them settled down, and let them take some time off this clock to your defense. I know a lot of these guys go 2 ways, but your defense, whoever's not out there 2 ways, needs to get a bit of a rest here. Just get your offense in a flow and get some points back.
It'll be an empty set for Braylon Thomas. He'll look to throw here on first down. Pumps, throws now towards the middle. Man wide open, caught. First down across midfield. Nearly losing the football there was Andrew Gettings. Kind of slipped out of his hands, but he's going to get inside the 40, down to the 39. 139 to the other. That's a 22-yard pickup.
Southside's going to bring a lot of pressure off the edges with their outside linebackers. Corfield, Will Morgan, they'll also disguise some coverage and bring Ryan Navarra too. So if you can spread them out and make them cover, Thomas has to feel comfortable that one of these guys is going to get open, and the best way to get that pressure off your back is a lot of times to spread these teams out. That's exactly what they've done here on 2 plays.
Apologies, we are under a tent here tonight, so you will see some poles coming in and out of context. Throw over the middle through the hands of the intended target, and we're getting thrown down way late is Jamel Mitchell after the play, and no flag thrown there, and now you're really going to get the Boo Birds coming from the Union sideline and the faithful in the stands.
Casey Lewis mixing it up that time, or was that Knox again?
Yeah, it was Knox. You've already seen Knox and Mitchell go after it a couple of times on the other side of the football. Let's get the rest of the Doran Concrete starting lineup. Visit doranconcrete.com for your free estimate today. Braylon Thomas, again, approaching 1,000 on the year. Mike Gunn, Andrew Carter.
Did that thing before anything else could happen.
So 3rd down and 10 on the first official offensive possession for the Scotties. After 2 inadvertent onside kicks, and now we're going to have a whistle, and we have a motion before the snap. It looks like maybe an illegal snap call against Union.
Well, they just need to get some composure. I understand 2 questionable calls that have gone against you here early on. This team just needs to find some composure. They need their leader, Thomas, to settle them down. They need a good first down play here. They need some chunk yardage.
And that first play was a great way to do so with 2 incomplete passes since. Now 3rd and 15. Thomas drops back, looks over the middle, has a man open, taught there by Gettings. Needs to get inside the 20 or inside the 30 for a first down. Cuts it upfield. He's going to be just short. Needed to get to the 29. He made it to the 31, but that's going to make this a much more manageable 4th down option coming.
See how wide open that makes everything else for this team. If you can spread this defense out, they can't cover everybody. It's physically impossible for this team to cover everybody. And I like this. I'm going for this on 4th down. 2, you're down 14-0 already. Go for it.
And they are going to go under center for the first time. We're going to have a whistle and a timeout call. The Pontius Insurance timeout as Coach Nee wasn't quite sure of what he saw, so a Pontius Insurance timeout. Give Dan Pontius, Jessica Dix, or Tracy Giddings a call to get started today. Make sure you take the timeout and save money on your insurance with a local agent at Pontius Insurance.
Yeah, I would go for this if it was 0-0 because I'm trying to set the tone for the other team. Now I got to tell them I'm not going away this easy. You may have a 14-point lead. I'm not going away. So I like the idea you go for it. And that was a great job by Thomas to buy time. They use that deep shotgun snap that we see him. A lot of air raid teams used to do that. Steve McNair, I told you earlier this week, Thomas kind of reminds me of a little bit of Aaron McNair, but I like the way that they spread things out. It gives him more time. Somebody's going to get open. He did a great job to find his receiver that time. You got to pick this 4th down up there. This is huge early in this game.
So they change from going under center with a maybe QB sneak now to shotgun on 4th and 1. Cartwright to the right. Getting a snap, throw to the near side, over the middle. Nice adjustment, making a catch. Andrew Gettings, the throw is behind him. He makes the catch down to the 19-yard line. Pickup of 11.
He ran an excellent route, got up the field. You'll see it right here. Got up the field fast, got in his break fast. Thomas does throw it just a shade behind him, but that is a quick route. That is a gutsy call on 4th down to not run it and just stack that line and go right up to Braylon Thomas. You have to trust he's going to make something happen for you.
3 catches is the most he's had in the game all year. Grayson Blakely has 3 on this first drive of the game for Union. Thomas looking his way again. Now adjust over the middle. Deflected, but making the catch is Andrew Cartwright inside the 15, down to the 14. Gain of 5 for Cartwright as the Scotties are in the red zone. Make sure you stop by the red zone on Wilmington Road in Shannocktown.
They're finding the middle of the field because the edges are all covered. They've spread everything out. Middle's going to be open. Underneath is always going to be open when you have that spread style of formation. Somebody is always going to be open over the middle, and they've done an excellent job early in this game of finding that guy in the middle.
2nd down and 5 as we hit the midway point of this opening quarter. Thomas looks to pass for the 7th straight play, has a man thrown right back into his face, ends up getting a man open on the wheel route, and it's caught in the end zone for a touchdown, but again, a flag thrown back in the backfield after the pass was thrown.
Yeah, that's going to come back. There's going to be a hold on Union. Late call because he had already rolled out and thrown the ball.
They're going to wave this off. They're going to wave this off. This is a touchdown.
Yep, good call. Excellent job by the officiating crew that time. Thomas had already rolled out to the right side, and Jamel Mitchell did just enough to hold up his defender. I mean, he was getting pushed back into the face of Thomas, and he did just enough to free up his quarterback to allow him to roll out to the right side. That was an excellent route, a good throw by the leader on this team, and a heck of a response. Grayson Blakely again. He and Gettings early in this game. Tremendous on that drive. Exactly what this team needed to come back.
That's a huge response. Grayson Blakely, his 6th touchdown, and it looks like they're going to call that a hold on the defense, which I'm actually all right with that call because you did see Jersey getting pulled the other way. So huge response as the extra point from Lucas Stanley is up, and it is good. Scotties respond with 5:55 remaining in the first quarter. We expected a potential shootout. We're getting one here. 14-7 Southside leads here at lcsportsnet.com. When injuries get you sidelined, don't trust just anyone to get you back on the field. Visit Health in Motion Physical Therapy in Shenango Township. They want to get you back to the top of your game as quickly as possible with certified orthopedic and manual therapy. At Health in Motion, you receive quality one-on-one time with a board-certified physical therapist. Get the next generation of physical therapy to help in your recovery. Health in Motion is the first PT clinic in Western Pennsylvania to use the Nuvie, the neurobioelectric stimulator, in their therapies. Their technologies can reduce your time on the sideline from 3 or 4 weeks to just 3 or 4 days. Don't wait for months to see improvement. Notice a difference after your first visit to Health in Motion, keeping you moving. Union Scotties marching band giving us some tunes out there, and with the holding penalty means kickoff's coming at midfield. Might Union try something a little nifty here as they got onside kicked twice already?
Why not?
Your Joseph's Marketplace drive summary: 7 plays, 61 yards, all pass plays, and converting on a 4th and 1. Able to extend the drive 14 yards from Braylon Thomas to Grayson Blakely.
Southside, I think, expects it because they don't have their return as deep as Union did on the previous kickoff. I'm trying to pin this team back. I'm telling them, if you want another one, you got to go the whole field.
And they are going to boot it deep. Well, Massey's going to take it just inside the 10-yard line on the near sideline. He's got some space out past the 30, makes a couple men miss, out to the 40, jacked up again as he and Thomas went helmet to helmet, out to the 43-yard line. So a big return. Scotty's couple of attempted big hits, but no wrap-up on the play. 1, 2, 3 guys missed. Look at this hit.
You got to expect this Union team is going to want to come out and hit somebody now. This right now, I think, becomes honestly, there's still over 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. I think this is the biggest drive of the game right here. You can't allow, now they had short fields those first 2 drives, but if you're Union's defense, you cannot allow this team to chew up time and go down the field again. You got to hit somebody and you got to get a stop.
Yeah, 6 plays run and 2 touchdowns run already for Southside. They're going to go on the fullback trap. Navarro with a nice hole. He's going to push the pile now across midfield, still fighting forward, and that's going to be enough to move the chains across midfield down to the 46.
It's interesting that they found some room in the middle of the field to run a couple of times. Jonkey was slow to get up, but he looks okay. But couple times now that they've had the edges as much as I thought they would early on.
Eddie Glover, Chase Knox, Lucian Williams, J.D. Roy, and Casey Lewis, they've been stalwarts all year long on that offensive line, just opening up holes left and right for the likes of Navarro, Corfield, and Pavlovich, and they all mix up where they line up. Who's the wingback, who's the fullback? It's Pavlovich as the fullback this time. He'll get the inside trap, breaks away from one man, and then just plows forward inside the 40, down maybe to the 39-yard line. And then more pushing and shoving after the play, but that's another 7-yard pickup.
Well, and the other thing about this wing T, and this is an obvious statement, if you follow football and these programs that run it still, you know that they teach it all through grade school, junior high, into the high school level. These kids have all been playing this style of offense for now 8 years in some cases. That's a long time to be running this, so you pretty much have this thing down to a T, so to speak. And you know exactly how to run, you know your assignments, but the way they mix it up and their motion is what makes it so confusing for opposing defenses, and Union's going to have to buckle it up here if they're going to want to tighten up some of these runs.
Up the middle, Navarro this time hit immediately, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. I think the first contact was made by Mitchell and then cleaned up there by Cartwright.
Yeah, that's a good job. Haven't really seen Navarra. He did have the touchdown earlier, but they focus more on Corfield and Pavlovich. And you see the guard pull there at that time. That looked like Knox who pulled, but Union's defense stayed at home, got good penetration, and got in the backfield pretty early. And that's the thing. If these guards are going to pull, you have to recognize that quick. You have to recognize where the ball carrier is, and you have to react to it.
First third down of the game for Southside. They're going to go play action, and again, motion up front. And it might be saying that Union jumped into the neutral zone early. Yes, they did. That's going to move the chains.
Now, there have been 2 times now that I've seen where it almost looked like Southside had 2 men in motion.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too on that one.
They got to keep an eye on that because that wing back on the near side towards us, we're on the home sideline. That wing back looks like he's leaving a little bit early. You got to watch that if you're the officials.
So that's the second first down via the penalty here tonight for Southside Beaver. Southside area. Southside Beaver is, I guess, the official name, but they always, on the school, it says Southside High School. Southside area is the official name, though, in the south side of Beaver County. Again, it was 2 men in motion, but they at least both get set this time. Triple option look and a keeper the entire way this time for Almashi. Moving a pile forward down close to the 30-yard line. Pick up of 4 yards for Almashi on first down. And when we were talking earlier in the week, you had an incredible stat about third down conversions. They technically didn't get a third down conversion there because of the penalty, but their third down percentage is incredible.
Yeah, their third down percentage on the season, just by comparison, their defense has only, they're on the flip side, they're converting at almost 60% on third down all season. And really, it's because of what they do on first down. You said it earlier already tonight that you can't allow a lot of stuff on first down if you're Union's defense. Well, if you're getting 4 yards a pop on first down, and you're getting 4 yards a pop on second down, and then all you got is 2 yards to go on third, well, yeah, you are going to have a 60% completion or success rate.
Corfield, he gets to the outside here on the toss with a lead blocker, and he's going to get all the way down inside the red zone. Mark him down just outside the 10. Gain of 22 points for, or 22 yards, excuse me, for Corfield.
That's a tough run to the outside. Had the big guy out there that time. They did have the tight end, Slayton Williams, in on that play, but he was lined up opposite of where they ran to, so they've disguised that a little bit. I noticed last week against Laurel, again, when Williams was in there and they put him on the right side, the left side of the line with Glover, all their plays went to the right. They worked completely away from that, thinking you're going to follow or at least key on that left side with the extra blocker there, and so far they've done the opposite in this game. What do I know?
Again, the Rams have entered the red zone. They're going to go inside trap again to Navarro, and again, the opening in the middle is what's impressive. Those kick-out blocks for
who have been blocking in this scheme. In the case of
just under a minute to play in the first quarter. Call it 2nd and 2 from the 3-yard line. More of a T formation this time, and going to be a sneak up the middle for Almashi. He's going to keep the pile moving, trying to get towards the goal line. Still no signal yet. They can move the chains. There it finally is. There's the signal for the touchdown. 3-yard QB sneak for Brody Almashi, his second run touchdown of the game.
Had the extra tight end in that time, both of them. Extra blocker. This scheme has just caused nightmares for Union early in this game. And just when you think you have them pinned up or you've shown some fight in this team, that extra point almost blocked. Good job by Thomas to get in there and sky for it. But now you got to fight out of a hole again, another 14-point hole, 41 seconds to go. And this Union offense is going to have to come right back and show that they're not out of this game yet. Onus goes right back to them.
7-play, 57-yard scoring drive. It's 21-7 Southside. Take a quick timeout. Back in a moment here at lcsportsnet.com.
Don't get left out to dry. Call the Penn Ohio Bottled Water Company for the fastest and most efficient bottled water delivery service in the area. Penn Ohio offers bottled water ranging from 16.9-ounce bottles to 5-gallon jugs, perfect for your next event or office water cooler system. Also, don't forget to ask about their custom labeling options. Visit PennOhioBottledWater.com for more information and to get a quote on their delivery services. Whether it's at home, in the office, or on the sidelines, Penn Ohio has you covered.
41 seconds remaining, 4 touchdowns here in the first quarter. Every team, when they've gotten the ball on offense, Eric Thomas, they've scored.
They have, and for Union in this case, you know, they went right down the field the last time, converted that 4th down, did it all through the air. Might be time to get some ground game going here on offense. See if you can muddy this game up a little bit. This Union team's not going to be out of the fight all night, but got to cover a kickoff again.
And they do. First man right up at the front, able to fall on it. That's Lucas Stanley. And it'll give Union good field position at the 42-yard line, it looks like, for the Scotties.
And see, I understand kicking that away from Gunn and from Thomas. What I don't understand is why would you give this offense almost half a field to go? They can, on 2 plays, score. They went right down the field the last time and picked you apart through the air. I'm not giving them any ground up. I want to kick this thing deep, and I want to make sure that they have to go the length of the field. I want my defense able to tee off on them a little bit or push them back. Play the field position game.
Southside has allowed a multi-touchdown game just once all season. That was 2 weeks ago to Shenango. So a lot of trust in the defense from Travel Piece as they again go empty set. Thomas now has to step up in the pocket, and this will be your first rushing attempt of the game. It's going to be a 2-yard sack back to the 40-yard line.
Didn't look to his left at all. Mike Gunn was camped out on the sideline, and he had nobody covering him. Safety came inside to look at Gettings because they picked apart the middle of the field, and Gunn was out there on the flank. So if Thomas just looks at that the opposite way to his left, he could have had a nice gain there with Gunn.
And that's going to be the final play of your first quarter. Southside 3 for 3 on their drives, a couple of unconventional onside kicks. They lead 21-7 at the end of the first quarter. Back in a moment on the Lawrence County Sportsnet, powered by LCAP. Nominations are now being accepted for the LCAP Team of the Month and the LGKG Male and Female Athlete of the Month. Log on to LC Sports. For 20 years, Melee Chiropractic has treated athletes of all ages to help them get safely back to the top of their game. Melee Chiropractic has 3 full-time doctors in their office, and all 3 are former area athletes who have had to battle injuries throughout their careers. They want to help you get safely back on your feet. But more importantly, help stop the injuries before they happen. Prehab before you rehab. Attention all high school student athletes. During your sports season, a $30 visit to the Melee Chiropractic office includes an adjustment and/or all therapy is necessary. From the athletes of tomorrow to the weekend warriors and everything in between. Let Melee Chiropractic keep you in the game. Big thanks to the entire crew here at Union High School. Get the entire basically broadcast media class helping us out here tonight. 21-7 Southside leading over Union. I'm James Dotson with Eric Thomas alongside. 2nd and 12 as we start the second quarter. Lots of time for Thomas. Now has to step up in the pocket, scrambling to the near side. Looking down the field, he's going to tuck and run. Lowers the boom across midfield. The 49-yard line. Hey, that's I guess one way to send a message.
That definitely is Braylon Thomas trying to send a message to the defender.
Yeah.
He did have a man open on the sideline and just opted to take that thing himself, and that's the leader, though. That's the guy who wants to send the message to the other side. It's great if anybody does, but if it's that guy who does it and lets Southside know that we're not out of this thing just yet, he's laid a couple of tough hits. We saw him on that kickoff.
Yeah. And actually, because of that, he stayed in bounds an extra 4 or 5 yards and gets the first down. So 1st and 10. Thomas looking to run again. Maybe now pumps a little jump pass over the middle. Somehow finds Cartwright. A little Tim Tebow action for a 2-yard pickup.
Southside doing a good job at covering deep. Nothing open. Nothing in the middle of the field open. So they've changed up their defense a little bit to make sure they cover better.
Are you surprised it's been all run or all pass plays so far?
Yes and no. I mean, you have obviously Braylon Thomas at your quarterback, and again, point guard of the offense, so to speak. So you want the ball in his hands as much as you can. I'm a little surprised that they didn't try to get Mike Gunn involved early, but that could also be because they were down 14-0 and maybe had to scrap something.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that game plan changes. 2nd down and 8. Cartwright moves to the right of Thomas. This one looks like more of a design quarterback draw, but he's going to be dragged down from behind, and a flag thrown, a couple of them thrown. This could be a horse collar potentially.
Slayton Williams had to stop. Good job that time by him to stay with Thomas. Almost like he was spying him, but might have been just a little too aggressive on the tackle.
The indication looks like it will be against the Southside Rams, so that will move the chains via the penalty.
Let's see.
I got the face mask.
on the defense face mask.
Yeah, still a good job by Williams to make sure that Thomas didn't really get anywhere up the field. He's listed as an athlete, so in other words, on defense, where he plays an end spot, they're going to move him just about anywhere. He's not exactly as big as most defensive ends. He's 6 foot, 190.
Another pass play called. And again, Thomas has to scramble, steps up, throws over the middle. It's going to be intercepted behind the intended target, and Al-Mashi's going to get the pick, and he's got a convoy in front of him. There is a flag down back on the return. He's off to the races. He'll take it back about 90 yards for the touchdown, maybe, as it's going to get knocked away. Yes, he did make it in the end zone, but it's going to come back nonetheless. It will be a turnover, only the second turnover since week 2 for the Scotties, but this one's going to be coming a long way back.
We have a developing situation here. There's a flag on the field.
That's a read, and you know, credit to Braylon Thomas for trying to keep it alive, but you'll see it here. Just had to get out of the pressure and force something over the middle, looking for Johnke, Gettings, and again, Southside just doing a good job to make sure everything deep is covered. That pass, camping out with the receivers. No fault on any of the receivers in this situation. Back is going to start to scramble around or try to do something to keep the play alive. You cannot be stagnant. You have to move as well. You have to try to get open, or as the old saying goes, he'll try to throw you open in some cases. Have to move around. Can't let that defense just camp out from the backside and jump the route and make a play.
Your Medor Bonner Law change in possession there. At Medor Bonner Law, your community firm with a personal connection and individualized service. Make sure you protect your possessions with a local firm like Medor Bonner Law. So this could be a block in the back, or it could be a blindside block that might be part of the discussion.
All right, they're going to let us know in a second.
Well, it's a shame, too, because that was a heck of an effort by Al-Mashi to hold. Does all that work for basically nothing. They do get the ball, which obviously is the big point.
Looks like block in the back.
Now, if you're Union's defense here and you're down by 14, this is the best position you've been in as far as where Southside has started.
Yeah.
You have to make something happen now. And honestly, letting them get a chunky yardage and maybe get to midfield or more isn't going to be good enough. You got to get a turnover, I think. You got to be a little bit aggressive and go after the ball. They got to play a little bit more disciplined in stopping some of these runs, but you've got to take advantage of this field position now.
Inside handoff up the middle, falling forward is Navarre. He's going to get out close to the 20, mark it down at the 19-yard line, but even that, a quick hitter. Not a lot of room, gain of 3 or 4.
I think that was Pavlovich that had the carry.
Look like number 44.
Good call. And that's the thing, again, Navarre at fullback almost all of last year. He and Pavlovich kind of flip-flop, whether they're at the fullback or one of the wingback positions. A defender you got to be looking for, right, Eric?
And it's tough when you have to try to figure out who's going to have it, but it's all really predicated on that motion. And Pavlovich is also a guy who only had 19 rushes coming into the game tonight, but again, it's that unselfishness, everybody understanding their role.
His second carry tonight. He's going to be a lead blocker this time on a toss play to Corfield coming from far side to near. Gets across the 20 to the 21, but this is why they're so tough, because they still pick up a couple of yards, makes this a very manageable third down, call it 3rd and 4.
That is a good job by Jameel Mitchell, though, and also Grayson Blakely, who steps over to help make the tackle. Mitchell trailed the play a little bit, but stuck with it, and that's what you want to see out of your defensive line. If they're going to get yardage, you guys got to try your best to not give up many, and he was just pretty resilient on that play to make sure he had the stop.
Third down coming up. Late substitute coming on. Still 12 on the play clock. Now down to 10. Southside's going to have to hurry here.
The other key in this game early on, James, is Southside hasn't been in a position where they've had to throw.
They only tried one, and it was a pass interference. They're going to go play action, look to throw here, throw towards the flat. It's going to be caught right at the sticks and moving the chains and then some down the sideline, knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. I believe that was the athlete, Slayton Williams, the tight end.
It's all that motion, and it's all that quarterback being able to tuck and run. And you'll see Al-Mashi, when he's able to step up and how he turns, almost like he's going to pitch the ball, and then it's a quick, the man's already out in the route. And a good throw, good delivery. Says his favorite quarterback is Drew Brees. Wears the same number as Drew Brees. Says he likes to play like Drew Brees, but he did a great job disguising that pitch there to pick up that big first down.
Almashi's listed at 5'10", which makes him about as tall as Drew Brees, as this play goes nowhere, right up the gut, stuck right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1 for Corfield. But here's your balance. Navarro 6 carries, Corfield 5 carries, Almashi 3 carries, Pavlovich 2.
Yeah, it's basically a spread offense, but you're running the football.
Mm-hmm.
That's the amazing part about it. Everybody just gets a touch, and they don't have to throw the ball much. You know, if they had to, I mean, they have the pieces. Ben Bird's been pretty good. Carter Wilson's had a solid year as far as any receivers in a wing T go. They could probably, if they wanted to, really throw the ball 30 times a game with this kid.
Yeah, Bird, the lone receiver, he's got a couple of touchdown receptions. Navarro, the man in motion, triple option keeper for Almashi, and that's one that basically he fakes it to the fullback and uses that fullback as a lead blocker, and just like that, 2nd and 10 turns into 3rd and 5.
Same thing he did on the pass play, a little fake. You fall for it because you know that he can tuck and run. This time he turns and goes upfield.
6:30 remaining here in the second quarter. Again, coming up at the halftime break, we'll have our Luxembourg Garbic George halftime show. Let their law firm of AV-rated attorneys and super lawyers guide you through the legal process. Luxembourg, Garbic, Kelly, and George keeping promises for over 80 years. You can hear Coach Nee from all the way up here. Watch the ball. They love that hard count when it's 3rd and 5 or less. Almashi will go under center, brings Navarro in motion, rolling out to his right, looking to throw, sets back, throws, man wide open, sliding catch made at the 40-yard line, found the breakdown in the coverage down the field. Carter Wilson with the catch.
And see, that's the beauty of when you run a wing T. Every concentration defensively is going to go with the running backs. The motion, again, dictates what Almashi's going to do with it. But nobody pays attention to Carter Wilson, who sneaks down the field. Nobody even around him. And he's able just to slide right back to it and pick up a big first down. That motion sets up all of that. You just have no idea where this ball's going when you have that many weapons that carry and that much motion with your wing T.
7th play of the drive. They're going to go jet sweep action this time. And huge hole for Corfield inside the 35. Tries to set up the block. Good job of Thomas to get around the block and swing him down right at the sticks, and that will move the chains. A gain of 11.
Another wrinkle with it. Short handoff. Man comes in motion. You call the jet there, and that's excellent design. These kids, all of these players for Southside all understand how this works. I can't even imagine what's going through the head of these defenders for Union right now.
When it's run well, it is a very fun offense to watch. And talking to Coach Nee and the staff, the toughest part about trying to do it in practice is the speed, because you're not used to running it. And that's why, so many teams can have success when they run this, because not many other teams do it. It's tough to run with. Now here's another action. Fake handoff and then a counter up the middle to Navarro. He's got monsters in front of him. Inside the 10, down to the 5, down to the 3-yard line.
Again, they disguise it up. Two guys coming across the formation in the backfield. Which one's going to get it? Navarro this time. The middle is wide open again. Credit to those two interior guards, Knox and Roy. Williams, the center. And they have disguised their runs. And it's the timing, too. You don't see it all year, and then you have to turn around and try to replicate this thing in a week. And all the film you watch and all the scouting and practicing that you can do against it, it's just not going to replicate a team and a bunch of players, 11 guys that have run this thing now for 8 years.
And doing it so successfully. And, again, remind you, almost everybody back from last year's team, so a lot of experience, as well as Navarro gets the quick hitter up the gut. Only needed 2 yards, and he got it. Second touchdown run for Ryan Navarro.
Offensive onslaught, this power rushing attack that is taking apart and finding the holes up the middle.
Cake is good, 28 first half here at lcsportsnet.com.
When you're looking for quality concrete services, contact the experienced professionals at Doran Concrete. Our company is family, locally owned and operated, and has been serving the community for over 30 years. Get residential or commercial concrete services for any size job. Our skilled professionals offer prompt and reliable services at an affordable price. We believe in the principles of honesty, integrity, and reliability. Get in touch with us for exceptional concrete services at prices that you can afford.
Hey Scotty fans, it's Mrs. Ryan and Miss Felina here on behalf of the Union Area Education Association. And we want to wish all of our Scotties good luck this season. Go Scotties!
9 plays, 85 yards, 5 minutes, 41 seconds off of the clock. That's your Joseph's Marketplace drive summary. Check out the cafe and bakery section or place a to-go order online at josephsnc.com. UnionSportsNet.com. Ryan Navarro from 2 yards out, capping off that drive. But a couple of third down conversions through the air end up really opening up the running lanes yet again. Now a high short kick. It's going to bounce, take kind of a sideways bounce, finally taken by Jonke. He's got some room to go. Maybe in the special teams trying to get something going before tripped up near the 40-yard line. That's Chase Hartle making the tackle.
Good job by Jonke to get on that. Not easy to field those things when it's wet and cold and kind of raw outside here tonight, but gives Union pretty good starting field position. They have got talking 3. This has got to be a touchdown with 3:54 to go. Every drive that Union has, they go down a little further, now becomes the most important drive of the game. It's as simple as that. They had success throwing the football the first time. They actually had a possession, see if they go back to it and try to pick this Southside defense apart.
Only the third time that you've seen the Union offense on the field. They're going to go first design run of the game for Thomas, and it's going nowhere. He's going to get dragged down for a huge loss because on the end, Casey Lewis won the battle and gets a 5-yard, call a loss of 4 officially.
They've gone Cartwright the tight end position early in the season, but you bring him in there to try to hold up the blocks, and he just could not hang on to Lewis. And that was design run all the way, and Thomas just trying to follow that block. Thought Cartwright had it. He didn't, and get what you get now. Let's see what the stoppage here is about.
And officials timeout on the field. Looks like the officials just making sure they're on the same page with something. Yeah, I didn't see any laundry on the field at any point, did you, Eric?
No, there wasn't a flag thrown. I think they're just kind of giving a warning to both sides, but
oh, they're pushing the Scotties back. I never saw a flag thrown, but they're pushing Union backwards. We have yet to see a signal. Here it comes now from.
It's going to be after the play.
They're going to say a headbutt.
Headbutting.
So a personal foul. They say a headbutt.
Not anymore.
Somebody just yelling if it's supposed to be from the line of scrimmage, but not the rule this year changing. I'm not.
If that's a dead ball foul, yeah, it's going to be from the end of the play.
Can we get a flag on the field though too? Because the confusion and then the discussion. I don't know.
And while we're at it, the play clock just wound down to 0. No one's even ready to play.
All right, they're going to get it together here.
I honestly, and I always like to defer to officials, and I'm going to be very careful when I say this. I don't know that these guys know what's going on right now on the field.
And they are moving it down to first down. So they're saying this is a during the play. So 2nd down and 30. Adinoga, you got that one back there?
Oh no.
2nd and 30. Well, 1st and 30. Excuse me. 1st and 30.
They're going to replay first down.
No, it's not a replay of first down. It's a penalty after the play.
Gettings makes the catch in traffic, and he's got room in front. Across midfield, down to the 40-yard line. No problem with the penalty. Have a 40-yard pickup to move the chains for the Scotties.
You can see some frustration on this Union team, too. They're showing a lot of emotion after that play, and I honestly don't blame them for the way things have gone here in this, not just because of the score, but what an excellent job again to find a guy that nobody has paid attention to on this offense. You expect Jonke, you expect Blakely, even Stanley to an extent, or Gunn, and it's been Gettings and Blakely who have really picked this team apart defensively. That's an excellent response to what was just an absurd situation after that play.
Yeah, because they actually also gave 5 extra yards because it was supposed to be a foul from the previous line of scrimmage. Thomas rolls out, and he's just going to fire this one into the first row. Incomplete pass. 2nd down coming. Still 2:33 remaining. 11 pass plays. Now 7 of 11 right now is Thomas throwing the football.
Daniel McCabe just hanging on for his life that time, trying to make sure he held up the block, and Thomas, like he does and has done so well, trying to keep the play alive and look for something down the field, but nothing materialized. Receivers are going to have to do a better job when, again, if they can turn and look, if they're in their route and they see that Thomas is starting to scramble to keep a play alive, you have to watch him and move kind of with him in the same direction. You've got to keep that defense moving because you have the advantage to try to wiggle your way open.
4 receivers left. They're going to throw it to the right, though. First catch for Dane Jonke, and he's going to get dragged out of bounds and thrown down at the 31-yard line.
Well, an excellent job and a quick throw, too. Jonke breaks out of that off the line. You'll see the replay, gets into the route very quickly. Good quick throw, doesn't allow the pressure to get set. Don't have to worry about the coverage coming over either. There's very few that can cover Jonke one-on-one. They had shadow help that time. But the quick route and quick throw, they got the yardage they needed.
Makes it 3rd and manageable. Call it 3rd down and 3. Again, they'll send 4 receivers to the left. Jonke, the only receiver, to the right. Thomas changing the play here at the line. Still plenty of time on the play clock. And there's going to be the motion. And Union, you can see the excitement even there. Hey, we got you at your own game.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of emotion on this Union team right now. There's some frustration. There's some emotion. Just a good hard count. Guy knows how to do it in Thomas. Pick up the first down.
And it didn't move much, but just enough to get into the neutral zone there on the far side was Chase Knox. The ball at the 27-yard line. Clock still running at 1:35 remaining in the first half.
They moved a lot if you're sitting on this side.
Yeah. Thomas directing traffic, pumps once, twice, now sliding over the middle and a little bit behind Gettings. Tried to hit the brakes but went sliding like he was sliding in second base. The WPIL leader, actually state leader in stolen bases a year ago, unable to make the catch while sliding for that one.
But see, what makes that route possible, that play possible, is Gettings continuing to move when Thomas is moving around to try to keep the play alive. You know, guys on the other side of the field that were just kind of standing there calling for the ball, he's not across the grain and across his body to the other side of the field, and he saw Gettings work his way open. Again, it's a basketball analogy. Think about all the cutting and screening in basketball. Somebody always has to be open if they keep moving. You can't just be stagnant and let your point guard just try to find you. You have to kind of move with the quarterback and follow him as he's moving to extend the pocket.
2nd and 10, Thomas again looking down the field, again flushed out of the pocket, trying to wait for someone to get open, just flings it again away. Trying at the last second, waiting as long as he can to find an open target, but right now the secondary coverage has been pretty solid, Eric.
Yeah, they've done a better job. A little bit of an umbrella coverage that time. They're keeping everybody in front of them. You see all the white shirts in that secondary just standing around. Thomas is doing what he can. I mean, he is doing an excellent job of trying to keep the play alive, but somebody underneath, if they can move, follow him. If he's moving to the right and you're on the left, you don't need to stay on the left. You got to come back the other way and try to be open for him to feed you the ball.
3rd down, 2 receivers each way on 3rd and 10. He's going to be waiting patiently. Now finally going to take off and run, and maybe waited too long. He's going to get dragged down by Ryan Navarra, and then we're going to get a flag behind the play, too, on the far sideline. That one just took too long to develop, Eric.
Yeah, Thomas, I think, wanted to take off and run with it right away, and just he waited too long for it to materialize. Had to go a little bit early. Union here.
Loss of 3, assuming they will decline the penalty, and it'll be 4th down and 13 to go.
They declined it.
Yeah, instead of 3rd and 20, make it 4th and 14, it looks like.
Yep.
Each play.
You're going for it either way.
Well, absolutely you are. And the clock now should be running with 1:07. They're going to reset the play clock. 1:05 remaining on a rolling second quarter clock. I think Union's going to be content to run this down as far as they can now and call timeout. Or they'll call timeout right now with 53 seconds remaining. We'll step aside real quick as well. 4th down coming on the other side of this break on the Lawrence County Sportsnet, powered by LCAP. When it comes to protecting those you love, the businesses you've built, or the things you've earned, you need someone you can trust. Who better to protect your interests than a local insurance agent? Pontius Insurance is a team of local agents helping local residents in Lawrence County and surrounding areas, specializing in auto, home, business, and life insurance. Come see Dan Pontius, Jessica Dix, and Tracy Giddings, and the rest of the team at Pontius Insurance, and receive the personalized service you deserve.
Works in Progress Painting wishes a successful and satisfying season to all the Lawrence County sports teams and athletes. Work hard and bring honor to your team, school, and family in how you play. Joe Wright and his family have been providing painting, window cleaning, and other property services for business and homeowners in the Lawrence County area for over 10 years. Their goal on every project is to provide a meaningful service that honors their customer, God, and their family, and to have fun while doing it. Works in Progress is now booking interior painting projects for both residential and commercial projects. Call Joe today at 724-714-4294 to discuss your next project.
4th down and 14 as we return to the action. Thomas and company need to get inside the 15 to convert, and he's going to be man in his face immediately. Rolling, scrambling, running for his life. He's going to tuck and run, but he's not going to get nearly enough to move the chains. Knocked out of bounds at about the 22-yard line, picked up about 10, but not going to be enough to move the chains.
Yeah, not anything open down the field. This is, again, this zone or this umbrella coverage that you whatever you want to call it, that Southside is throwing at him right now, not allowing anything open deep. Thomas trying to do what he can to keep it alive, and just nothing opening up down the field. They're still getting pressure on him too, which is a bit surprising with all those guys down the field. Offensive line's been asked to hold blocks for 12, 10 seconds, and that's making it tough on them too.
And it looks like this will just be a kneel down with a 28-7 score line. Does that sound familiar? That's about what it was last year. 28-7, Southside leading at the halftime break. Our LGKG halftime show coming up next. We'll have the Southside and Union Scotty area marching bands when we return. 28-7 your score at the half. Southside leads here on the Lawrence County Sportsnet, powered by LCAP.
At Medore Bonner Law, we're more than just attorneys. We're your community partners. With a combined experience that spans decades, attorneys Jason Medore, Michael Bonner, and Greg Rossitelli are your trusted advisors for all legal matters. From personal injury to estate planning, business law to family disputes, we are here to guide you through every step of the legal process. Our full-service, community-based approach ensures that you're not just a client, but a valued member of our family. Give us a call or visit us online at medorebonnerlaw.com for more information.
BMF Tax and Financial provides businesses and individual tax prep, advising, and consulting. With over 10 years of experience, BMF Tax provides you with big firm expertise with small firm service.
I'm Brandon Fisher, owner of BMF Tax and Financial. Together, we will help you get a better understanding of your taxes and build a relationship along the way. At BMF Tax, I want to take the stress away from taxes and allow you to focus on what you do best.
Call or visit bmftax.com to set up a free consultation. BMF Tax and Financial. Taxes made simple, life made easy.
I think the key to any attorney-client relationship is trust. My father told me a long time ago, the definition of personal integrity, it's really simple. Do what you say you're going to do. At LGKG, we've been doing that for over 80 years.
Tired of gasoline costs? Why drive? Let the Newcastle Transit Authority take you where you want to go. Serving the city of Newcastle and stops throughout Lawrence County, as well as weekday service to Pittsburgh. Public transportation just makes sense. Why drive when you can relax and ride? For more information or for route schedules, log on to newcastletransit.org. The Newcastle Transit Authority, going your way. And remember, senior citizens ride free.
I love what I do because coming in every day is different.
How can you not enjoy these kids coming up and hugging you and giving you these great smiles all throughout the day? You guys ready?
Seeing the progress that our kids make every single day is one of the reasons I love coming to school.
What should we do? We have fun.
LCAP Early Learning Centers is hiring. Help empower young minds in Lawrence County and become a superhero today. Apply at lcap.org.
Looking for a unique way to expand your business? Advertise on the Lawrence County Sportsnet and be seen by thousands of viewers in the area and around the country on over 100 broadcasts each year. Visit lcsportsnet.com and click Advertise with LCSN.
When the high school season heats up, make sure you have the best gear to support your school. Head to the Red Zone on Wilmington Road in the Shannock for all your county sporting apparel needs. From sporting goods to custom apparel to embroidery and more, the Red Zone has it all. Quality gear for all 8 schools in the County of Champions. Stop by and enter the Red Zone or visit them online at theredzonesports.com. Score big at the Red Zone.
Halftime here at Sox Russo Stadium. We're going to turn it over to the Southside area marching band. A halftime score, Southside 28, Union 7. This is your LGKG halftime show.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Southside Area High School Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Matt Deal with assistance from Austin Cornelius, along with color guard director Jen Petoskey and majorette instructor Pam Veazey. The Southside Band would like to thank the faculty, staff, administration, and school board of the Southside Area School District for their continued support of music education. Music students from Southside consistently place well in PMEA festivals, and the Southside Area School District was named a Best Community for Music Education by the NAM Foundation in 2022 and 2023. Thank you for your attention and support, and as always, let's go Rams!
The Union area community would like to welcome back the members of the 1973 Tri-County Class A champion Union Scotties. Picked to come in 7th place at the Class A Tri-County League against all odds, the Class B Scotties finished the regular season 9-0 under head coach Chuck Lucidor. The Scotties then defeated the high-scoring Brentwood Spartans 10-7 in the first ever overtime game in Whitfield history at Shenango High School. The following week, the Scotties defeated the heavily favored Freedom Bulldogs at Montour. The Scotties finished their season 11-1 with a 2014 loss to the Springdale Dynamos in the Whitfield Championship game at Thomas Jefferson High School. Deceased members of the team include head coach Chuck Lucidor, Don Morgan, Frank Spinelli, Robert Bridges, John Ratney, George Walters, Jimmy Quinn, Harry Anarella, and Larry Quallig. Members of the team in attendance tonight are assistant coach Bob Curry, 1973 Whitfield Class A MVP, and All-State linebacker Jim French. Whitfield Class A First Team Don Quinn. Whitfield Class A First Team Scott Benedict. Whitfield Class A First Team Rick Adams. All-County Honorable Mention Dave Napadano. All-County First Team Larry Hoover. All-County First Team Jim Padula. All-County Second Team Gray Casella. Tony Bertolino. All-County First Team Mitch Horney. All-County Second Team Scott Jackson. Joe French. Marty Yanarella. Jim Regal. Bob Carr. Steve Lucas. Larry Nader. Sam Bernstein, and George Augustine. Give one final round of applause for the 1973 Tri-County Class A champion Union Scotties. Ladies and gentlemen, now taking the field is the Union Area Marching Scotties, led by drum major Elliot Lascuca and Charlotte Girallo.
We're on this one.
Before the band plays tonight, we would like to honor our senior members once more. The senior members are Jonathan Bednar, John Hudson, Elliot Lascuca, Veronica Llewellyn, Landon Pegley, Haley Price, Caitlin Schuler, and Allison Ross. Whether you are new to the band or have been with us in 7th grade, thank you for all your years of service to the Scotty Marching Band. Drum majors, is your band ready? Our first song tonight is 99 Red Balloons, first recorded by Nina in the 1980s. Our soloist tonight is 7th grader AJ Culkin. We will finish up tonight with Michael Jackson's Black or White. Thank you all for your support this marching season. We look forward to performing for you during our playoff games and during the postseason. Join us at the concession stand after the game for our last piece of music from tonight's show.
You've been watching the Luxembourg, Garbutt, Kelly and George Halftime Show, presented by the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbutt, Kelly and George. serving the Newcastle area for 90 years. Be sure to stay tuned to the Lawrence County Sportsnet for third quarter action coming up after this message from our sponsors.
For more than 120 years, people have relied on Martindale Hubbell's preeminent rating to select their attorneys. If you've been involved in an automobile accident, you should do the same. At LGKG, we have been preeminently rated for over 40 years.
Special thanks to the Southside High School Area Marching Band as well as the Union Scotties Marching Band for their performances there at halftime. Also a cool little piece there. It's the 50th anniversary of the 1973 WPIL runner-up team. They were all honored, those who were in attendance. Real cool to see that. Unfortunately for the 1973 team and Scotties fans, it's not been great for the 2023 Scotties here tonight, trailing 28-7 at the halftime break. I'm James Dotson with Eric Thomas alongside. Eric, you could not have drawn up a more perfect start for Southside and a more imperfect start for Union the way this thing kicked off. No pun intended.
Yeah, no, really, but the key with playing these wing tee teams, James, is to make sure that they play from behind. They're not equipped to come back in shootouts. Union didn't cover a kickoff, short field for Southside. They score, they come right back. You don't think they're going to do it a second time in a row. They do. They get the ball again. They go right down the field and they score, so you're in a 14-0 hole. Union looked great on their first actual offensive series of the night. Moved the ball, converted a fourth down, got it all done through the air. And then from that point, they just have not been able to develop anything on offense. And Southside, to their credit, not only have they run their offense to perfection, really to perfection here tonight, but they also haven't challenged himself. They haven't put them still. As they come out from the locker room, he has given the refs an earful. And I agree with him because there have been some questionable calls in this game. You get that every game, but there's always a hold miss here and there. But some of the things that have happened in this game that have led to his defense being put in tough positions in the first half, he's got a right to gripe about it. But on the other side, credit to Southside because they then come back and they switch their coverage up. They play more of an umbrella-style defense. They keep everybody in front of them. They're not letting anybody get deep. They still got pressure on Braylon Thomas, even with all those guys drop back and making and covering. Union is going to have to get off the field here to start the third quarter, and then they are going to have to, and I mean have to, go down the field and score and get back in this ball game. This is a 21-point game. It's not over yet. When you have Braylon Thomas and you have the ability to come back from just about anything and you have these weapons, it's not over yet, but you have got to make sure that you are on your P's and Q's and everything is just perfect up front for this defense. And Kimney Balya is actually, I mean, you're watching this right now. He is in the face of the official. You can see it down in the lower part of the screen there. He has been going at it with the official ever since they came out from the locker room. He's trying to get his team fired up. He's trying to show some fight, and I don't blame him for doing it.
There's something he was not pleased about near the end of that first half, or something that maybe they saw on film when they went into the locker room. We didn't get a chance to talk much about the works in progress keys to the game. Let's take a look at them right now. Your works in progress keys to the game. Call Joe Wright 724-714-4294 to discuss your next painting project. One of the big keys we talked about was being disciplined on the defensive front for the Scotties, and at times it's looked all right, but for the most part, though, it's the execution of the Southside offense that has been a bigger key.
Well, you know that they're going to give up yardage. I mean, it's just the way that the wing tee works. I mean, it's impossible to hold wing tee teams to nothing the entire game. Union's defense has played pretty well in a lot of time. And remember, they were basically giving them almost 3/4 of the field and having to defend that right off the bat on 2 straight possessions. So you have to think to yourself, well, that's got to be demoralizing. And they have still fought back. I mean, they have fought back. Southside had to go almost the length of the field on a touchdown, their last touchdown. So, I mean, Union's made them work. They've played solid defense. They're not going to get tested in the secondary. We know that. I mean, if they don't have to throw the ball the rest of the game, they won't. So some of these athletes, they're going to have to step up to the line of scrimmage and start making some plays. They got to get a turnover. They have got to get the ball back right away to start this third quarter, and they've got to score. It's as simple as that. It's got to start on this defensive side of the ball, though.
I think you've said that a couple of times. Need to get one of those Medora Bonner Law turnovers. That's about the long and short of it here at this point. I mean, you almost have to score with Southside the way they've played this year. And if you're just tuning in, Union is guaranteed 2 fewer possessions this game because the first 2 kicks for Southside were recovered onside kicks.
Yeah, that's an excellent point and something that is not lost, I'm sure, on the coaching staff here. But listen, it's a fresh slate. You got to win the second half. If you win the second half, there's a chance you might be in this game the whole way. They got to get it going on defense here, though.
Massey will take the opening kickoff from the 18-yard line. He's got an avenue on the left side. Good patience, and it's up the middle now out to the 45. Mark him at the 47-yard line. 1st and 10. That's where Southside will begin. We'll take a look again at their starters on the offensive front. Your starting lineup's brought to you by Doran Concrete, laying down the foundation for your team. Laying down the foundation for Southside, the offensive line. Eddie Glover, Chase Knox, Lucian Williams, J.D. Roy, and Casey Lewis leading the way with 152 yards on the ground. But here's the balance. Navarra, 8 carries, 58 yards, 2 touchdowns. A.C. Corfield, 6 carries, 52 yards. Almashi, 4 for 32 and a pair of touchdowns. Mateja Pavlovich with a pair of carries for 41 yards as well.
This would be the first division title conference title for Southside since 1999. They had 6 shutouts that season, and they went on to take apart Southern Columbia in the state championship game. Glenn McDougall, the coach of that team, on the sidelines tonight. So they have that championship pedigree on the sidelines helping them out.
Another new wrinkle here is this is a first play from the shotgun and just a design run the entire way up the middle. We've seen that at times throughout the course of the year for Southside, but first we've seen it tonight.
Yeah, a little wrinkle. They will like to throw a couple different things at you, but a lot of it, again, is all predicated on that motion, and it's tough to defend when you don't know who's going to – we've said this a million times tonight that it's tough when you don't know who's going to carry the ball for them. They've got 4 to 5 guys at any point that can carry the ball for them. They're going to go out of the shotgun here again.
It's basically the same wing tee setup, but out of a shotgun. Another design run for Almashi. Not nearly as much room this time. Stood up at the line, maybe a gain of 1 before Brown and Bowen make the stop.
Yeah, good job by Jameel Mitchell, too, to collapse that edge and force nothing really on the outside, and the tackle made on the inside. So, again, if you can keep those edges closed off defensively, and that really falls on Mitchell and also the other defensive end, Kelly. But if you can keep those edges clean and force the run back to the middle, I know they've had problems up the middle tonight, but you want to make sure you keep contained there and just force short, smaller areas to run the football.
3rd and 6, back under center, rolling out, almost losing his footing there was the quarterback Almashi. Rolling. Now he's going to tuck and run, and he's going to get the first down, but this one's going to come back as there's a hold about 5 yards in the backfield. And again, penalties, you haven't seen much of them over the course of the entire year for Southside, and that's why they're so efficient on 3rd down, but this one's going to make it a lot tougher.
Yeah, you got to play from behind the sticks if you're Union's defense. Make them play from behind the sticks. Good job, though, by Almashi that time, because he basically baited Lucas Stanley into moving upfield to make the tackle. And by the time he saw Stanley making a clean run at him, he got to the outside and was able to pick up the yardage before the flag came in.
Same thing, though. You mentioned it a couple times early with the wingbacks moving. The far wingback is leaning forward at every snap, and they haven't called it.
Nope, they have not called it, but I think one time 2 guys in motion, and that's kind of surprising to see because this team is so experienced at running this offense. You wouldn't expect any kind of mistake like that. Now,
well, is it a mistake if they don't throw the flag on it, though? You know?
True, right, true. This is the situation that Union wanted to be in all game long now, is get this team behind the sticks, bring some pressure, get off the field.
3rd and 16, they're going to go with a double pass. It's actually a backwards pass. That ball's live right now. Still no whistle, and it's going to be tackled. And now they're going to actually blow the whistle and say it was forward, incomplete. So it's an incomplete pass from the wingback back to Navarra. Navarra throwing it back to Almashi.
I know they're up 28-7. I know that this game is in their control right now, at least for the moment. I'm not sure why you dial that play up right there, though, on 3rd down. Run the ball, and if you get the first down, you get it. You've had big chunks up the middle and to the edge all night. Just run the football, and if you don't get it, punt it away. You're still up 21.
Well, that tells you something about knowing how Union can score in bunches and wanting to get as many points on the board as you possibly can, as Mike Gunn's going to take a fair catch at the 33-yard line. So mission accomplished for Union to start. They get a 3-and-out. 9:54 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and now their offense comes back onto the field for, believe it or not, only their 4th drive of the game.
We talked about this a lot in the first. The pocket breaks down, and Thomas is going to scramble to try to keep it alive and keep the play alive. These receivers, if they're going down the field, have got to do a better job at reading and reacting to him and moving to get open. There was too much stagnant movement, lack of movement in that receiving core after Thomas tried to extend the pocket in the first half. That's going to have to change if that pocket breaks down.
7 of 13 passing in the first half was Thomas. We've seen this 4-receiver set a lot tonight. Fire over the middle. It's going to be almost intercepted, as reading it from the free safety position was Ben Bird. He nearly got his 4th pick of the year. And we have a flag back in the backfield as well.
Probably going to be a late flag for a hold. Yeah, Braylon Thomas isn't happy about that. And that's the right design. I mean, you're trying to hit your guy up the far seam, but you didn't really read the safety that time. And Bird, these D-backs have just been camping out and sitting back and just allowing everybody to kind of come to them and then make a play on the ball. That's excellent coverage by Bird just to stay home and not really get trapped and have to follow Blakely or break too early on it. Just stand pat, let the ball kind of come to him.
So now it's going to be with that holding penalty, 1st down and 20 back at the 23-yard line. Blakely in the slot to the right, Jonke, the receiver, to the right, 2 receivers to the left as well. Cartwright will now move to the right of Thomas in the gun on 1st and 20. And he's going to have to quickly sprint out to his right, and he's going to throw that one close to the intended receiver, is my broadcast colleague, Eric Thomas.
I don't have that ability to make a play on the ball, though, anymore. That's just an excellent job by Southside to still bring all that pressure. And, again, I said it in the first half. You would think if you spread these guys out that their defense, more guys would drop back. They're still getting pressure with minimal rush up front. They're still able to get in the backfield and disrupt the route or disrupt the pocket and force a bad throw by Thomas. That's the 3rd or 4th time that he's had to throw a ball away because pressure has come. And it's not like they're bringing extra guys. They're simply just going with the 4 that they have up there, despite the fact Union's trying to spread them out. Very disciplined defense.
Almost losing the snap there was Thomas, and immediately again having to just roll out, and he's got to throw this one into the bench. There's just no protection right now up front from the Scotties. And give some credit again to the Southside and the way they're adjusting their pressure each time as well.
These D-backs are just sitting back, a little too high safety look at times, and that time Casey Lewis is the one who gets the pressure. But they're just going right up the field. They're going right past the lineman. This is also the other issue that Union has in this game. Again, it's not a very big roster. A lot of these linemen are going both ways, and they've been getting beat up front on defense tonight the way Southside has run the football. That's eventually going to wear on them.
Believe it or not, the plays are pretty close to even in that first half. 23 plays run from Southside, 19 run from Union. The scoreboard saying a lot differently. 28-7 and 3rd and long here. 3rd and 20. Has a man open on the wheel route. It's Gunn. He has to wait for it, though. Makes the catch at midfield. He's trying to spin away from a tackler and ends up going down to the ground at the 46-yard line. But there it is. You give him time, and the men are going to be open.
You'll see Gunn right at the bottom of your screen come outside and go right down the sideline. Thomas actually throws it while he's still running the route. The safeties didn't have time to react to it. And finally, Mike Gunn gets involved in this offense. He is a home run hitter for this team, and they've had him split wide a bunch of times tonight. That's an excellent route by Gunn. I love the wheel route. A lot of times you get those D-backs. They don't have time to react to it. A linebacker can't move over to cover anybody. That's going to be wide open a bunch of times if you hit it right.
That's a huge 3rd down conversion. Your first 3rd down Castle Asphalt conversion of the game for the East. And now they're going to go under center with the lone tailback. And this is the first carry by somebody not named Braylon Thomas. It's Andrew Cartwright plowing it up the middle for a 3-yard pickup. Only his 14th carry of the season.
Perfect time to dial that up, too. Come back with a quick run, get a couple of yards, set up a 2nd and manageable. Start picking away at this defense. I know that time becomes an issue for you if you're Union and you got 3 touchdowns you got to make up here, plus get stops. That's the other part of the equation. But if you can just pick away at this team and sort of soften them up a little bit.
Because, again, they have not played a full game, have they, Eric?
No, they have not. And also the other thing is if you run the ball at them and it softens them up in the middle, then you hit them with a little play action or a rollout, and sometimes the route's going to be wide open.
2nd down and 7. Thomas will get the shotgun snap. Pumps again. He's going to look down the field. Better coverage this time, and he got blasted by Navarra in the backfield. Didn't bite on the double move here. They were trying to get Jonky deep, and Almashi was in his hip pocket the entire way.
He is an excellent cover guy because he knows exactly what the quarterback's going to do. He's thinking about what his receivers would do if it was him back there throwing the football. That's why these quarterbacks make such excellent safeties or cover guys. That just took too long to materialize because he couldn't break loose from Almashi, Jonky.
And that's one of the reasons why you're seeing Braylon Thomas as a starter tonight on the defensive front. You're going to see for the first time it looks like Lucas Stanley in at quarterback. Braylon Thomas is going to be the receiver to the near side of the formation, kind of actually in almost a wingback setup. Stanley, lefty gets the snap, the junior, looking down the field, is going to fire one deep, looking for Jonky, and it's going to be just a step out in front of him. Closest man in coverage was Carter Wilson, and if he could have aired it out just a step further, Jonky had the little opening, the little seam, but a tough one to thread the needle.
Good throw, too, because he's throwing it to the outside, trying to drop it in the bucket there where only Jonky's going to make the play on it. Right idea. Defense is going to have to focus on Thomas, and then you normally would maybe forget about the guy going deep, but they had that pretty well covered that time, Southside.
So now it's going to be 4th down.
Everything's 4-down territory.
Yeah,
it does
absolutely.
not matter at this point. You could be on your 1. It's 4-down territory.
4th down and 15, though, officially. They need to get inside the 35-yard line to move the chains. Well, we talked about the bag of tricks. You saw Southside try something on their first possession of the half. What does Union have up their sleeve?
Watch Mike Gunn. He's in the slot far side.
Thomas dropping back, buying time, directing traffic, fires one over the middle. Leaping catch made by Andrew Gettings yet again. 5th catch of the game. He is by far your MVP Insurance MVP of the game, leading candidate right now for the Scotties.
How about this throw by Braylon Thomas, though? I mean, he's got time to throw it. He's waiting for the route, and then bang, just delivers a bullet right between the defenders. And then Gettings high points the ball somewhat, goes up to get it. That was a fantastic throw by Thomas in that tight window.
So the Scotties are 1 for 4 on 3rd down, but they're now 2 for 3 on 4th down conversions, and basically that keeps this game alive. 16-yard pickup and a dandy.
I still think at some point they're going back to Mike Gunn. If they keep bringing him out in the slot or bringing him out wide.
Again, pressure right up the middle, and Thomas nowhere to go. Still fighting forward. He's finally going to go down in a heap.
Now here's my question. If this is a hold, where is it when 2 guys are still converging to stop him?
It just tells you how incredibly efficient that defensive line has been tonight. So, I mean, you're going to decline this because it's going to be 2nd down and, 17 versus a 1st down and 20. Holding will be declined.
That was declined by the defense.
So after that sack,
That'll bring up 2nd and long
for another loss of 8, Thomas technically was 7 carries for 0 yards.
Know what I like about him, though? He's down by 21, and he still looks like he's got his poise about him, too. There's no panic. This team knows that they can hit a big one at some point. They can get their way back in this game.
Thomas on 2nd and long, again directing traffic, just trying to extend the play. Man open again, and another high catch again, and breaking away from the tackle is Andrew Gettings. Who is this kid down inside the 20-yard line?
James, what he does on that route once again is what I've been saying these receivers need to do. He is running with Thomas stride for stride. What a throw, high point that. He's moving as his quarterback is moving to try to keep it alive and stay open.
Play going again here, and here goes Thomas trying to roll out to the right, and he's going to get knocked out of bounds after a pickup of maybe 2 or 3 yards. And again, the Scotties are in the red zone. Remember, Spirit Sale is a great way to make money for your organization. Just fill out a form, and the red zone does the rest. Find out how your group can score big at the red zone.
Know what he didn't do there, though, is lose yardage. That's a big, it might not seem like it in the grand scheme of things, but if you lose nothing on that, you can live to fight the next down.
Coming up on 5 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter, and this has been a drive that has taken up now we're at the 5-minute mark of this drive. 5 minutes to go also here in the 3rd quarter. 11th play of the current Scotties drive. 2 receivers each way, Gunn in the slot to the right. Gettings has been the mastermind. He's far wide right. Thomas Again, delays. Now he's going to run. This is more of a design run. He's going to get upended. Somehow keeps his feet and puts his way in the end zone. Braylon Thomas, 16 yards out. A magic trick. Don't go anywhere yet, folks. The Scotties saying, hey, we're still here.
Slayton Williams had a chance to make the tackle, and he is an excellent. We called him the athlete earlier. Braylon Thomas just said, no, get out of my way. I'm scoring whether you want to make the tackle or not. He went low on him. Low enough, Thomas got a hand on him, pushed his momentum down towards the ground, got loose. And what a job by Thomas on the run is great, and the run gets his team back in the game. But the two throws to Gettings and the importance of Gettings moving to stay open on that last completion was huge for this team.
And now they're going to have to go with a Peter play, and it's going to go for a conversion. A high snap. Grayson Blakely throws it to Andrew Cartwright. Mark that one down. Could that loom large here late? 28-15. Scotties have cut it down to a 13-point game. Back in a moment on the Lawrence County Sportsnet, powered by LCAP.
Visiting Rams, 28. Hold on, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We have a game.
Does your blueprint not match the vision of your building project? Not with Creative Edge Architecture. From concept to creation, Jeff Measle will help tackle the complex problems, creating design solutions and construction experience. Creative Edge gives you the edge design and construction meet.
Right now, someone very special needs your help. This is Jack Lynn, CEO of City Rescue Mission. No one is beyond God's love and care. One person's life can affect another. Though you may never meet this person, you can make a difference in his or her life. Hurting men and women in our community desperately need food, shelter, and physical and spiritual care. Some are struggling with abuse and addiction. They feel alone, unloved, and forgotten. Individual, caring people provide their hope. You can help change the lives of men, women, and children. Visit City
Get towards the near sideline. Going to be taken on the run at the 28-yard line. How about this? Again, splitting away from tacklers out to the 45-yard line on the return. That was Will Morgan, but this one likely coming back with Laundry on the field.
You just said it before we came back when they try an onside kick. Southside hasn't moved their guys, the return men, up. They're not as deep as what Unions have been, but they haven't moved anybody up really. And they did have Morgan basically there to play center field and fair catch that if he needed to. You sense just ever so slightly right now. I don't want to say all the way that it's on a seesaw, but you just sense a little bit of a shift in this game right now.
That'll put the ball on about the 30-yard line.
And this is a Union team, and you know this better than I, that thrives on emotion or kind of thrives on that big moment, and they kind of ride that wave like they did against Mohawk in week 0. You just knew at some point. I mean, Mohawk played a great game that night. You just knew that Union was never out of it.
A block in the back. They mark it from the 41, so back to the 31-yard line. Here's also something you don't see. That's 6 penalties on Southside tonight.
Yeah, they're a typically very disciplined team. I believe that's the most they've had in one game all season.
Inside trap handoff and a big run for Navarra. First down and then some out to the 45-yard line. Upended there out to the 49 before Million and Cartwright drag him down.
You got Eddie Glover, the 350-pound guard or tackle, down the field blocking for him on that play.
That was enough for Rams first down.
He's a big dude. He's at the bottom of your screen. Big number 72. Look at him just move right to the middle of the field, and he's running with Navarro down the middle of the field.
He had to play, but still his presence. I mean, look, if I'm a 150, 160-pound defensive back and I see a big 350-pounder coming at me, I'd probably be running the other way too.
That's a whole lot of nope if you're the guy defending that.
Rolling out is Almashi. Mitchell in his face and just has to throw it away. Incomplete pass. And trying maybe just to give a little trickery there, but at this point you still have a 2-score lead. That does stop the clock with 3:53 remaining.
And you have chances to do that tonight because he's been so quick at handing the ball off, and they don't run, they don't throw the ball. You finally had a chance to get some pressure on him.
Tuesday for the first round of the
They're announcing here about the WPIL playoffs that were just announced in volleyball this morning. We got 4 teams in the county that are going to be in the playoffs. Union will be traveling to Bishop Canevin in the first round. That game is on Tuesday. Elwood City, a pigtail game on Monday. Shenango and Neshannock will play on Wednesday. Inside trap, and there is a lot of movement all over the place on that one. And that's going to move Southside back.
Looks like that'll be on the offense.
This one kind of looked like nobody was quite sure what the play what the snap count was.
Offsides on the offense.
Again, just a little bit of a shift in this game right now.
Yeah, look like the left tackle especially.
Yeah, if Eddie Glover's going to move, you're not missing that. He's the biggest man on the he's not a boy. He is the biggest man on the field.
I'm sorry, undersized offensive line, Coach Travelpiece said?
Yeah, we don't have a lot of 250. Yeah, you got a 350-pound one, Coach.
Handoff on a jet sweep to Navarre, trying to get to the edge. Breaks out of a couple tackles. Mitchell finally drags him down, back close to the original line of scrimmage. But you can
areas, they're just trying to go at everybody right now, and that might be the better MO if you're this Union defense. Mitchell, you know, win or lose this game tonight, he's played a great game up front. He's had a couple of pressures. He's had a couple of good tackles. He's had a good night despite the score right now.
Play action again. Stanley's going to get the pressure in there, and he's going to get the ball thrown away. Is there a receiver in the area? That's what they have to go and discuss. And they are going to throw the flag in the grasp. No receiver in the area, so that's going to be intentional grounding.
Good call. James, I said it now twice in the last 5 minutes. Do you sense it now that there just seems to be a little bit going to that blue and white side right now? And I'm telling you, if you're Southside, you've played a great game to this point. The mistakes, things, they may not snowball entirely, but they're starting to right now for Southside. You do not want to give this Union team momentum. Regardless of how good this Southside team is, Union still puts the best player on the field when number 2 is out there. You've got to be very careful right now if you're Southside.
And now you got to be careful, too, because the rain has started to come down again as the umbrellas making their way out. That's not going to dampen the spirits of the pink-out crowd here in Scottyville. 4th down and long as Pavlovich back to punt it away. There's the intentional grounding call. It is a loss of down. It should be 4th down. Now they got it all set up. 4th down and 21 is what they'll call it. Pavlovich back to punt. Will the Scotties go after? Low snap, barely able to get it on a bounce, and almost blocking it off the edge was Stanley. That's going to go over the head of Gunn, and it takes a Southside bounce and then some down to the 14-yard line.
Are you kidding me? When they needed the punt that might save this game for them.
If we're watching Premier League soccer, we may have gotten a yellow card for a dive here on the near sideline. Nonetheless, here comes Union with a chance. Down 2 scores, but they've got the momentum on their side, and they've got a gem of a player. Give Gem Master Buildsman and Craftsman a call. Visit gembuilders.com for more information. Building our community for
the couple of scoring drives here tonight is Thomas keeping the pocket open. I'd like to see him run the ball a little bit more, but if they can still throw the ball in what's now a pretty steady downpour, these receivers have to still do a good job of moving when Thomas does. You know the pressure's going to come.
High snap, Thomas looking down the field, pumps again. He's going to have to break away from a tackler just outside the end zone. Somehow does, still trying to make a play, throws it down the field and couldn't get a grip on it, to be honest.
Yeah, it is, and he also was looking down the field. He was trying to find Grayson Blakely down the field. Problem being, Grayson Blakely got held right in front of the Union sideline, and the officials missed it. They were looking too much at the play, and one of the coaches, I think that was Coach Nabaldia, who was pointing out. I don't know if he was pointing out to try to direct the traffic, but Blakely, there was a handful of jersey that didn't allow him to get out of the route and get open. They totally missed that one.
And the rain is big time coming down now. Fans scattering, umbrellas and ponchos alike coming out everywhere. Play continues, 2nd and 10, throw over the middle, and it's going to be caught in and out of the hands by Jonke. And that's one, if it was 2 quarters again, it's probably one that gets held on to.
Well, this is also going to be a problem now because they haven't run the ball so much, and all their offense has been predicated on the pass. Mm-hmm. It's going to make it harder to catch the ball. You're almost better off ditching the gloves in the rain because the natural feel of the ball and on your skin is a little bit easier to grip it. Those gloves get a little wet, and the stick comes off of it, and you're not able to hold on to it.
By the way, we missed it. Couple of records that could have fallen tonight across the county. Here's one we didn't even get a chance to talk about. Braylon Thomas just became the single-season passing record holder in Union Scotties history on that last drive. He doesn't care about that. He cares about getting a couple more scores on the board. 3rd down and 10 here. Has to step up in the pocket, trying to buy more time and maybe trying to buy too much time as he's going to get upended by Pavlovich back inside the 10.
Nothing open. Blanket coverage. Blakely tried to get open over the middle sideline. Gettings was pushed over towards the sideline. Couldn't get open. There was coverage there with the safety anyway. Tough drive for Union there, trying to get their way back in the game. And see, this is the other issue that you run into now, and this is an obvious statement. Who does this favor right now? The conditions. I mean, they already have the lead, but this favors now a Southside style of offense, this ground and pound where they're not going to have to really rely too much on the passing attack. They've thrown or dropped back how many times tonight? 6?
5, and one of them was actually a running back pass, trying to throw it back to the quarterback. Thomas is going to do rugby-style punt off the side of the foot from the end zone, but we have a flag on the play. Hold the phone. Is that going to be a roughing the punter situation? Now,
is that automatic, though?
There is no automatic first down, right.
15 yards, it's still going to be a 4th and 2, and you're deep in your own territory.
Southside is trying to claim that the punt was partially blocked, which would negate any of those penalties, and I think that's what the officials are going to have the discussion on here. I might try to back up a row here, Eric. We're starting to get some splatter.
Might not be a bad idea.
Little splatter, huh? The iPad's getting a little wet.
All right, they're picking it up. No penalty on the play.
Yep, so they are going to say it was a partially blocked punt.
That'll make it 1st and 10 for the Rams.
So because it's a partially blocked punt, there cannot be a flag.
Yard line.
It is coming down in buckets now.
And you're right, a little drizzle might actually help a team that is more of a passing offense. Not this kind of weather.
This is late arriving, too. This is what we thought we were going to have prior to the game.
Yeah, this is what we were expecting right before kickoff, potentially.
From the 21-yard line.
So great field position again, starting at the 21-yard line. Handoff, Navarro, where did he come from? How did he find the smallest hole on the right-hand side? Gets down just outside the 10, gain of 9 yards for Navarro. 11 carries for 91 yards now.
That was number 0.
His typical self tonight.
Ryan Navarro.
Yeah, he's just doing the Almashi now at 36 yards. Here's the thing, though, too, with this kind of wing T offense, when you have a couple of those misdirection handoffs, every handoff is an adventure. And right now, with Southside back in the red zone, can Union get the turnover that they've been lacking all night? Another jet sweep this side. Actually, there. They got a pretty good teacher, I guess. 1st and goal from the 8, likely the last play of the 3rd quarter. Handoff Navarro up the middle. Nice jump cut in the hole and gets in the end zone. Momentum right back on the side of the black, white, and gray. 8 yards out, Navarro's 3rd of the game.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to come back from if you're Union. I mean, nothing went right on that last drive if you're the Scotties. And this game, this weather, it just all amazing how even the little sliver of hope, and then it all just flips back.
Pavlovich kick on the way towards the band shelter, and he's now 5 for 5 on the evening. 11 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Now 35-15, Southside leads here at lcsportsnet.com.
After 2 shoulder surgeries, my doctor wanted me to go to his physical therapy, which was out of town, and I chose Washington Center Physical Therapy.
The availability is absolutely amazing. When we call to get an athlete in, we get them in the exact same day.
I see many patients preoperatively for orthopedic surgeries. Those patients who use Washington Center have the best outcomes.
The bottom line is Washington Center Physical Therapy is your best choice for physical therapy.
Call us at Washington Center Physical Therapy, serving the community for over 20 years.
To remind you to look to your left.
Give a shout out to our incredible crew here working the game at Union Township, Union Area High School. Special thanks to the entire Union Broadcast Media class helping out with this one.
Get into the garbage can.
Got running the scoreboard is Addie Noge. Got Piper Jendryzik pretending she's doing something back there, I guess. Kylie Frustorfer doing some work as well. Dom Summers, our producer. How about the switcher work, though? Doing a great job. Better than Dom. Hayden Strickler's going to get some she thinks she's going to get bonus points, but she's not going to be getting that. And Darren Heberlin doing our sideline cam. He's the one who's getting wet as the rest of us stay dry underneath the tent. Downpour continues, lightening up maybe slightly as this kick is returned by Gunn out to the 39-yard line. That was one of the upbacks taking it. 5 seconds remaining in the quarter. The way Union can score, nothing is ever out of question here, Eric. However, that last drive, it all starts with the 48-yard punt. Really kind of threw everything off balance. A 3-and-out, a partially blocked punt back the other way, and a short field did not help matters.
No, it did not. And the way this offensive line has worked tonight for Southside. You know, the other thing, I'll say this too, and if you're looking for a silver lining, did Union win the conference last year? No. Did they go to the state final? Yes. Did they win the WPIL title? Yes. So this team, a veteran team, is going to know how to bounce back from this next week.
Thomas, design run the whole way, trying to go back to the far sideline, and he's had a couple players in his face. That time Pavlovich spying him the whole way. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's the end of the third quarter. Quarter number 4 when we return at lcsportsnet.com, powered by LCAP. For 20 years, Melee Chiropractic has treated athletes of all ages to help them get safely back to the top of their game. Melee Chiropractic has 3 full-time doctors in their office, and all 3 are former area athletes who have had to battle injuries throughout their careers. They want to help you get safely back on your feet. But more importantly, help stop the injuries before they happen. Prehab before you rehab. Attention all high school student athletes. During your sports season, a $30 visit to the Melee Chiropractic office includes an adjustment and/or all therapy is necessary. From the athletes of tomorrow to the weekend warriors and everything in between. Let Melee Chiropractic keep you in the game.
Let's wave the light. All right.
Little light show here to start the fourth quarter. So got a few flashlights trying to make their way out from underneath the umbrellas. Right now, Scotties trying to work their way out from a 20-point deficit as we start the fourth quarter. Rain continuing to fall here at Sox Russo Stadium. 2nd and 7, Thomas dropping back, looking to throw. Again, great coverage. 6 men in coverage the whole way. Bleeding out of the backfield now is Andrew Cartwright. Gets a gain of a...
Really used the running backs much tonight. We saw Gunn on that wheel route, and Cartwright had a carry, but neither one of them have been a major factor in this game tonight. They've needed Cartwright more so to try to hold blocks in that backfield for Thomas. And it's still not, too late in this game. I think that Union just has to stick with what they want to work on, stick with what they want to try to run. Stanley's going to be in the game again now, quarterback.
And you're going to have Thomas as a wingback basically to the right. Now coming in motion is Thomas, the usual quarterback. High snap, able to tip it to himself and get the rebound is Stanley. Now trying to break away from a tackler. Does break away from one, but not going to get away from the second or the third. That's going to be the 5th sack of the game for the Southside defense.
Yeah, this has been a tough night for this offensive line. They have tried to hold their blocks. All that starts with the bad snap or the high snap that time. This is a situation if you're Union, again, 10 minutes running clock, 10.5 minutes running clock. Just run what you want to run. You don't have to divert for much here. You said it. It's a 16-point game. It would be a 16-point game with that field goal, but now it's a 3-score game, but you can still get yourself back in this game even though it's 20. It's work back there, and there's a simple play right there to get some yardage.
Yeah, it's now 4th and 6. It became 4th and 1 on the offsides. They might have more penalties tonight than they've had all year at this point.
They do, yeah, in a
9
single
now.
game. Yep, they are very disciplined is Southside, and that's, something you look for discipline in big games, and you tell your players to be tight, make sure that they don't give up any yardage. The Southside team is built for that, and they've done that all season long. Tonight, just a little too sloppy.
Now 4th and 1. First real issue on the snap. The last one. This one pure from Bowen. Here's a throw over the middle through the hands of Mike Gunn and incomplete. He went to the bare hands but was unable to make the catch, and a turnover on downs. Possession switching over to Southside.
They want to look at.
So 4th drive tonight. That'll start in plus territory for Southside as Corfield has huge opening on the far sideline. The first down and more before he's finally ushered out of bounds by Blakely after about another 14 or 15-yard pickup.
22 on the carry. Andrew Crossfield.
Just a sophomore, but he's one of the captains of this team. That's what's impressive more than anything for big number 22.
Yeah, he has been an impressive runner for this team. And again, just another one of those unselfish guys, that three-headed monster at the back position. Nobody needs to have all the yards in this offense. Everybody shares the wealth.
Now under center again is Almashi. Inside trap, third man through is Navarra, and he's going to fight forward. Keeps the legs churning, gains 2 or 3 yards. Union trying to rip the ball away, unable to do so. Gain of 2 for Navarra. He's now over the century mark. 13 carries, 101 yards.
Play by number 0, Ryan Navarra.
You can see the Union guys are starting to get a little exhausted here tonight, and it's been a tough game for the linemen, been a tough game for pretty much everybody wearing blue and white tonight, but still got a battle.
This is the closest game Southside has been in this year. First time we've seen a little twin back set, toss to Corfield, trying to use a couple lead blockers. Almashi even has a lead blocker, maybe a gain of 1 down to the 30-yard line, and now a flag thrown in late on the play.
A little bit after the play there that time. And
somebody piling on.
Yep.
Hard runner by number 22.
Following along with your Newcastle Transit Authority, going your way out of town scoreboard there on the bottom line. Mohawk, a long touchdown run, has just extended their lead back to double digits. Face mask is the call against Union here. How about this for a score update? Newcastle is leading Ambridge. Canes, one of the longest losing streaks right now in the WPIAL. They are leading over the Bridgers.
And another foul.
And Ambridge, I think, still had an outside shot at a playoff berth, too.
They did, yes.
That's going to go up in smoke if they can't hang on tonight. I saw that team in week 0 this year, and they played a tough Highlands team and hung in there for a chunk of that game. And you thought, well, maybe they have turned the corner. That's a team that's eager to try to get everything right and start being a consistent winner. They just have not found the success all the way, but still a chance, tonight for the playoffs. And if Newcastle hangs on there, what a win that will be for them. First one of the year. Ambridge, for all intent and purposes, playoff hopes at that point done.
So 2 yards and then a 15-yard penalty. Not sure what the discussion is about right now, but that gives us a chance to remind you that next week for the volleyball playoffs and then in 2 weeks' time for the football playoffs, we are no longer able to provide free coverage of these games on the LC Sportsnet, powered by LCAP. It's all on NFHS Network at this point from here on out for the playoffs. We can still do coverage, but it has to be on their website, has to be behind their paywall. We're glad to be able to continue to do coverage of all of our county teams to the best of our ability throughout the postseason, but understand that it's not up to us. It is the WPIL. It's exclusively now with NFHS Network that you have to go behind a paywall. However, we're still hoping we can get some audio feeds for free so people can listen to a radio style of all of our broadcasts throughout the postseason action as well, but that's going to take a little bit of help from some of our sponsors out there. So please, if you want to make sure your team can be able to be covered in the playoffs and so people can at least listen for free at home without having to pay for the subscriptions, give us a call, follow us on social media, send us a message on there, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the above, or you can send me an email, jdotson@lccap.org, and we'll find a way to advertise for you and make it known that you're the reason why we have our games on the air. We had a face mask and an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on that play against the Scotties. So that's why the ball's moved down all the way inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. And they also, Union called a timeout as well. So on the doorstep yet again are the Southside Rams. You got a score update there?
Yeah, score update. Neshannock 28-7 over Elwood City. That's with 2:02 to go in the third quarter. Neshannock just fumbled the football deep in their own territory, recovered it, so they still have possession of that, and that's going to likely set up next week's conference championship game.
Ball loose in the end zone, but it looks like Southside crossed the goal line before losing the ball, so it's going to be a Southside touchdown run. I believe that was Navarra yet again.
They are just too much to handle up front. This offensive line, again, so well blocked. You can't stress it enough that when you've been in these wing T systems for pretty much your entire career, I come from the eastern part of the state, so I saw firsthand growing up what Tim Remfield and Cumberland Valley did, and they were the best wing T team that we had in the Mid-Penn Conference and ran it just ad nauseum for decades, ran that system. And when it is executed, a lot of the credit goes back to what these guys have done their entire career, and the coaches all working together through the youth programs, the players all playing in the same system together for 6, 7, 8 years, and by this point you just have it down to a science, and it has just worked to near perfection here tonight.
4 drives beginning in Union Scotties territory tonight have all resulted in touchdowns. We'll keep it right here on the Lawrence County Sportsnet, powered by LCAP. As you look back on this one, Eric, the 2 not intentional onside kicks, I wouldn't say, but kind of intentionally pooching it short. The first one almost stuck like an Eric Thomas 9-iron right at the 30-yard line.
I wish I could hit my 9-iron like that.
And it was recovered right on the far sideline by Southside, so they get the ball immediately. 3 plays later, they're in the end zone. They do it again. This time it was going to be recovered by Union, but it squirted out from underneath the Union player, and it was recovered again. 3 plays later. You're not 3 minutes into this game, and it's 14-0. And it was all downhill from there, and this Southside offense has just been, for the most part, unstoppable here this evening.
And when you think for any split second, if you're Union or on the Union side and you thought that there was a shred of momentum, Southside came right back and took it right away. I mean, that was huge after that touchdown drive by Union in the first half, where they really got back in the game, and then they were not able to do much else after that.
And then here's a fumble, and it's going to be picked up, and are they going to say it was muffed? So they're going to say it was never officially held by the Scotties. It was not a pickup and a fumble. It was a muff of a kick, which cannot be advanced. Nonetheless, it is a Southside recovery and another possession starting in plus territory. That is the 3rd change in possession on the kickoff.
Credit Nick McKinley, who got 36, got down the field to play the tackle, saw the ball come loose, and then he wisely picked it up. You have to play through the whistle, of course, so he does the right thing. But it's another short field. And, you know, now at this point, that's a good time to draw this up. The field's wet. The ball's wet. It's been raining for 20 minutes. This special teams unit, this Southside team is going to be a very tough team to handle when it comes to the single-A playoffs. And I know that they have not had all the success. They got to the semis last year. Canavan took them out. And then, of course, obviously Union puts their name in the history books with that title win. But the way they're playing right now, I think that Luke Travelpiece needed to see this type of game from his team, because like you've said tonight, they haven't had to play a full 4 quarters. They honestly haven't really been tested since the first game against Hopewell, which that's the closest game that they played till this point tonight. I think he needed to see a little something out of his team late in the season, playing a tough team on the road, conference title on the line, puts his team in a playoff, a title situation, and his team responded tonight.
Handoff and huge hole. Lots of room for Matej Pavlovich, and he's going to be just shy of the goal line. Gain of 9 on his 3rd carry of the game. Pavlovich coming in on the season, just 19 carries, and he's the only one of that quartet without a touchdown. I wonder if they might be thinking about that right now. Will they try to give him that touchdown score? He's the wingback on the right. Almashi's going to go under center, and he's going to go handoff for Navarre, and instead it's going to be big number 0 putting up big number 5 touchdown of the game.
Nope, they're excellent at making the opponent pay for the special teams miscue. A hat tip to Luke Travelpiece and his team. They came to play tonight, and they wanted that first conference title since 1999. You go back to that season, and that's a time when the Big 7 was owning just about everything in the WPIL. 95 to 2001, a team from the Big 7 won 6 PIAA championships. Farrell 95 and 96, Rochester 98. 2000 and 2001, Southside wedged their one in between there in 99. And they remember that season. They finished in 98, they finished in a tie with Monaca and Farrell for 2nd place in the conference. Where did they finish last year? In 2nd place.
Southside finished in 2nd, correct.
Yep. So they come back this year. They don't shut everybody out like they did in 99, but they come right back this year. and they claim the conference title.
Kick was good. It was adventurous for Pavlovich. Now 7 for 7, though that one slipped sliding away as he was able to boot it through the uprights. 34-point advantage here for Southside. They're making their claim not only as first-time conference champions in over 2 decades, but potentially they can be making a shout-out at should they be the number 1 seed. Fort Cherry, I think, is the consensus number 1 at the moment with the great season that they've had with their high-powered offense. Of course, the great quarterback that Sieg is. He's probably going to be an 1,000 player by the end of this evening. As only a sophomore, by the way.
2 highest-scoring teams in the WPIL, too.
Yeah. And that's something we didn't really touch on either. Southside, their defense so great that they are, but they came in as the number 2 scoring offense in the entire district behind only that Fort Cherry team. High short kick, and this one's going to go out of bounds.
Looks like a kick out of bounds.
Union will get possession at the 35-yard line. Coming up after the game, we'll have our Tri-County Principals post-game show. Want to remind you, actually, that nominations are open again for your Team of the Month and Athlete of the Month, your LGKG Male and Female Athlete of the Month, and your LCAP Team of the Month. So many great ways LCAP improving the quality of life around Lawrence County. Let LCAP Early Learning help your little one blossom. There's immediate openings right now in childcare and preschool classrooms across Lawrence County. Give them a call today at 724-944-7671 for more information.
That'll be 1st and 10.
You go to our website, you can get the
35-yard line.
nomination form right at the top of the page. Just click on awards and click on play or player of the athlete of the month or team of the month to be able to put those nominations in. A bunch of new players out there on the field. Tackle made by that's number 4. I thought it was number 1. Number 4, Cole McCoy making the tackle on Nick Cook getting the carry.
Good time to get some of your players a chance to get in the game and get some game action with still plenty of time left. Union's probably going to have a chance to do that next week as well.
Yeah, Summit Academy. And how about that one? A Thursday afternoon game. Not sure if we've ever seen that in WPL history, but Union apparently was made aware, as all the schools apparently were made aware early in the season, that they did not want any WPL games on the Saturday to end the season, as Cook gets another carry on the right-hand side, and this one's going to be brought back for a hold against Maccabi, and then some pushing and shoving down the field as well. Maccabi's hold is going to push Union back, but to finish that thought on the Thursday game, Summit Academy, one of only 3 schools, doesn't have lights. They play on Saturday afternoon. Well, they want to announce the brackets, and that game could have potentially meant something. Still technically does. I mean, if you're a team that loses to a winless team in the regular season finale, that certainly should mean something. Well, they couldn't move it to Friday. Not enough officials available during the day. Somebody made the ask, hey, how about Thursday afternoon? And Summit and Union both agreed. So that game's going to be on Thursday afternoon at 12:30. We will have coverage of that one, actually, by the way, because, I mean, you can't get the kids out of school, unfortunately. And a lot of the parents obviously aren't going to be able to watch in person. They can watch on our website at least. But a very unique scenario there, Eric.
Yeah, looking forward to that one, actually. Even though Summit's had a bit of a struggle this year, still looking forward to it. Thursday night or Thursday afternoon, it's a different atmosphere for football. And, you know, I think also it's a good chance if you're Union, you get in there, you get a win, get out of there, and then you don't have to worry about Friday or Saturday. You can just kind of hang back, relax, get ready for the playoffs. You've got a title to defend. That's the key thing that you have to preach to your players right now if you're the Scotties coaching staff. We still have a title to defend, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, they were looking for their first conference title in over 2 decades as well, as this snap didn't even make it back to Nick Cook. He goes and falls on it for a loss of 1. 4th down coming up. 49-15 still your score. And if not for the botched extra point turn 2-point conversion, we would actually have a running clock scenario right now.
I remember early in the year when you had sent the schedules out, I looked at that and I said, Thursday afternoon. No, it's not a misprint.
Well, it is still misprinted in just about every publication out there. I know Post-Gazette and Trib and I think Newcastle News still until a couple weeks ago still had it listed as as a Saturday afternoon game. But no, that is a Thursday 12:30 kickoff. We'll have the crew down there. Might even have a special guest appearance. How about this one? Sir Don Rebel might be making the trip out to Herman, Pennsylvania to help us out with that broadcast. Union still playing hard. Jonky trying to get the Southside returner to run into the football, unable to do so. 5:29 remaining, and now Southside will have the offense back on the field, likely one last time here as well. Let's give a shout out to a couple of our great sponsors. How about the Penn Ohio Bottled Water Company delivering us the weekly podcast series where we get to talk previews and we recap the games each and every week. Thanks to Penn Ohio Bottled Water. Make sure you give them a call. Let Penn Ohio Bottled Water do the heavy lifting and bring refreshing bottled water straight to your door. Got a lot of, go ahead.
I think the Southside team, you look big picture, and it's tough to look at. You don't know what the brackets are obviously going to be until next weekend, but if you have to prepare for this team and what they bring to the table and how close they got last year to getting a taste of that championship, just getting to that championship game would be fuel for this team to return this season. This is going to be a very tough team to handle.
And you know what? It's so crazy, though, because it's almost like it's a matchup-based thing, because Bishop Canevin absolutely destroyed Southside in the playoffs. I think it might have been a mercy rule, to be honest. 3 weeks before that, Southside completely destroyed Union, but in the championship game, Union blew Bishop Canevin off the field. In fact, they had negative rushing yards until the final 2 plays of the game. So it's such a matchup-based thing sometimes, too, when it comes to this wing T offense, that it's all about can you stay disciplined, and Union looked like they had a good game plan, just Southside had one. Every time something was looking in Union's favor, Southside was able to switch it up and go a different direction.
Yeah, that's the key point. Anytime there was that little sliver of momentum for Union, Southside wrestled it right away. I know that there's going to be everybody throwing their predictions out there, who the favorites are and all that. It doesn't mean anything, whatever anybody says about it. The bottom line is if you're a defending champ, they still have to beat you to get that title.
Right.
So Union still has that going for them. I think they're going to be hungry. I think they're going to try to get some work in on Thursday, get off the field, stay healthy, get to the bracket, get in the playoffs, get a home game if they're lucky enough to do that, which they should, and, go from there. Everybody still has to beat you. That's the thing. The champion always has the advantage. It's that simple. There might be a team that plays better than you on a given night for 48 minutes. They still have the advantage because they're still the team to beat.
I believe that was Brooks Mizik who was taking the quarterback snaps now for Southside. Lots of newbies out there on the field. Let's give a shout out to Health in Motion Physical Therapy. Everybody out there playing right now, the newbies of the game today. Next generation of physical therapy is here. Health in Motion. They're the only PT clinic in Lawrence County using newbie stimulator technology. Their motto is get better, faster. And at Health in Motion, you can reduce your time on the sideline by up to 70%. Visit Health in Motion Newcastle on Facebook for more information.
That'll bring up third down.
Third down coming up.
That applies to everybody who's going to enter the WPIL tournament as defending champs. You're still the champ.
Yeah.
Aliquippa's still the champ. You have to beat them if you want that title, and good luck to everybody trying to do that.
Good luck beating Steel High in the state championship in Class 1A, as they now have the all-time passing record holder. Good run up the middle here from Southside, fighting towards the sticks, and it looks like they will have enough to move the chains.
Well, a team that can beat them in the playoffs is a team that can either score with them, which this Union team is capable of doing. I know that they fell short last year, or a team that's going to frustrate them defensively, and that's the team on the opposite side of Union tonight. Steel High has not seen a team that can run wing T, and plus, they, much like this Southside team this year, they have not really been challenged a whole lot in their schedule, and that's not an indictment of Steel High. That's more of an indictment of how, and I hate to say it this way, but how watered down some of the classifications can be. That we have 6 classifications. I'm not going to get on a soapbox about it, but
please.
it is for sure changed the dynamic of football across the state.
3 minutes remaining. Pitch coming near side. This time is Hunter Jadinkos. I'll get it eventually. Picks up 3 or 4 yards on the game.
Single A. I mean, think about what these two teams are going to have to go through on this side of the state. Steel High plays 1 district game, and it's a championship. There's not even enough to field a full bracket. So it's a tough ask when you're – now, they're supremely talented, too, so they should rip through everybody until they get to the state final. But at the same time, I would venture to put some coin behind a team that's been tested. And right now we've seen the Southside team tested, and they've responded tonight. And we know Union's been tested, and they've responded at times during the season.
Dom Colella there on the carry across midfield. Down to 2 minutes remaining. Clock still winding as this one's coming to a close. Looking real quick at the WPIL in Class 1A here, Eric. You still could have, again, 6 or 7 teams that are capable of winning a championship. We talk about Fort Cherry. We talk about Southside. They're probably the 1-2 seeds right now in the tournament. Bishop Canavan's going to be one of the top seeds. California, that Tri-County South always a difficult conference really to look at, but you have this Union team, the Cornell team that beat Union. They've had a couple of rough weeks in a row against Canavan and Fort Cherry. You have a lot of teams that are capable of making that run. Oh, and this team called the Clareton Bears, too. Yeah,
that Clareton team is – I saw them play against Leechburg early in the season. 23 penalties for 205, 210 yards, whatever it was in that game, and still put up 42 points and won that game. And I thought to myself, man, I haven't seen this team since they went on their run to the state championships, and they kind of look like they're built like that team was. Athletes everywhere, nice offensive line, good defense, can run the ball, have playmakers everywhere. And, you know, the fact that they had 23 penalties that night and still scored 42 points, they're young.
Mm-hmm.
That Clareton team is very young, so if you're going to get them, you better get them now. And they're going to run into some problems, obviously, depending on who they draw, but that's going to be a very tough opponent for anybody in this bracket in 1A if they get tangled up with them.
One last kneel down, and time will expire. 49-15 is your final score here from Sox Russo Stadium. Your Big 7 Conference champions party like it's 1999. The Southside Rams victorious 49-15. We'll wrap it up on our Tri-County Principals postgame show when we return. It's the Lawrence County Sportsnet powered by LCAP.
GEM building contractors and developers have a proven record of performance on any size project. They bring value, local craftsmanship, expert management to meet any challenge. From design construction, from inspection to budget estimation, GEM Builder has been building our community for 70 years.
Looking for a unique way to expand your business? Advertise on the Lawrence County Sportsnet and be seen by thousands of viewers in the area and around the country on over 100 broadcasts each year. Visit lcsportsnet.com and click Advertise with LCSN.
When it comes to shopping for insurance, there are thousands of options out there. MVP Insurance proactively shops and compares your policies to find the best coverage and rate. Josh Madure and David Verratti want to provide you with the level of personalized service that you know that you are the MVP of their agency. They simplify insurance so you can live stress-free. Visit one of the locations in Xenia Leopold or in New Springfield, Ohio. Call MVP for the win. Proud sponsor of the MVP of the game on the Lawrence County Sportsnet.
Right now, someone very special needs your help. This is Jack Lynn, CEO of City Rescue Mission. No one is beyond God's love and care. One person's life can affect another. Though you may never meet this person, you can make a difference in his or her life. Hurting men and women in our community desperately need food, shelter, and physical and spiritual care. Some are struggling with abuse and addiction. They feel alone, unloved, and forgotten. Individual, caring people provide their hope. You can help change the lives of men, women, and children. Visit cityrescuemission.org and help us today.
For more than 120 years, people have relied on Martindale Hubbell's preeminent rating to select their attorneys. If you've been involved in an automobile accident, you should do the same. At LGKG, we have been preeminently rated for over 40 years.
For 20 years, Melee Chiropractic has treated athletes of all ages to help them get safely back to the top of their game. Melee Chiropractic has 3 full-time doctors in their office, and all 3 are former area athletes who have had to battle injuries throughout their careers. They want to help you get safely back on your feet. But more importantly, help stop the injuries before they happen. Prehab before you rehab. Attention all high school student athletes. During your sports season, a $30 visit to the Melee Chiropractic office includes an adjustment and/or all therapy is necessary. From the athletes of tomorrow to the weekend warriors and everything in between. Let Melee Chiropractic keep you in the game.
Back here at Sox Russo Stadium in the Tri-County Principals postgame show. Final tonight of 49-15. Southside claims the Big 7 Conference Championship. They pose for a team photo down in the end zone as Union will be back on the field on Thursday afternoon against Summit Academy and try to get back in the win column before the playoffs start. Let's take a look at tonight's final statistics. Not much in the way of passing for Southside, as you would expect, as Brody Almashi, 4 attempts, 2 of 4, 31 yards here tonight. The big gun for Southside was Ryan Navarre, 15 carries, 109 yards. He scored 5 touchdowns tonight for this Southside Rams team. Almashi with 6 carries, 36 yards. He scored twice. A.C. Corfield, a nice night for him, 9 carries, 72 yards, and 3 carries for 20 yards for Matasia Pavlovich. For Union tonight, tough game offensively. Braylon Thomas, 12 of 23 for 194 yards. He threw 1 touchdown. He was picked off once. He also had 10 carries for 23 yards and a touchdown for the Scotties tonight. Not much else in the way of catches or rushes, rather, tonight for the Scotties, as Cartwright had a carry for 3 yards. Stanley carry for -3. No carries for Mike Gunn. The receiving totals tonight for Union: Cartwright with 3 catches for 12 yards. Andrew Gettings had a big night, 6 catches, 127. You got 1 catch for Dane Jonke tonight for 7 yards, 32-yard catch by Mike Gunn, and a 24-yard catch for Grayson Blakely. This game, if you missed it early, really changed on the opening kickoff as Southside converted an onside kick and then recovered it deep in Union territory. They scored on that. They went right back to the onside kick on the second one, and they recovered that as well. And that led to a 14-0 lead. Union was able to get on the board, but they could really do no more damage in the first half tonight as they fell behind big early tonight, 28-7, and just never recovered. Tried to make a little bit of a run there in the third, got a little bit of momentum, and then Southside was able to wrestle that away. It's going to take us to our Maley Chiropractic player of the game tonight, or the play of the game tonight. And let's talk first about our MVP Insurance MVP of the Game award. MVP Insurance is proud to present the MVP of the game award to Ryan Navarra of Southside. MVP Insurance and Lawrence County Sports Center proud to honor Navarra as tonight's MVP of the game. He'll receive a customized T-shirt courtesy of the Red Zone in recognition of being named tonight's MVP of the game. To view a full list of this year's game MVPs, go online to lcsportsnet.com and click on MVP of the game. Our play of the game, take your pick. He was a pretty good outlet tonight for Braylon Thomas, but we're going to go with Andrew Gettings and our play of the game. And they converted that big 4th down in the first half that led to the Union touchdown. So that's going to be our Maley Chiropractic Play of the Game Award. Maley Chiropractic is proud to present the Play of the Game Award to, we'll say, Braylon Thomas and Andrew Gettings of Union. Maley Chiropractic and the Lawrence County Sports Center proud to honor Andrew Gettings for tonight's Play of the Game. He'll receive a customized T-shirt courtesy of the Red Zone in recognition of tonight's Play of the Game. Video of tonight's Play of the Game may also be featured on the Trib Live High School Sports Network's standout platform on X and Instagram. To view tonight's Maley Chiropractic Play of the Game and a full list of this season's top plays, go online to lcsportsnet.com and click on Play of the Game. Congratulations to Andrew for tonight's Maley Chiropractic Play of the Game. Let Maley Chiropractic keep you in the game. Next week, Thursday, we'll be at Summit Academy as Union's back in action on Thursday afternoon. They will take on Summit in the final regular season game of the year, and then it's on to the WPIL Class 1A playoffs. Friday night, you won't want to miss this, though. We got the MAC Conference Championship game as Mohawk is going to take on Neshannock in what should be a fantastic game at Neshannock. We'll have both those for you coming up on Thursday and Friday. That's going to do it for us here tonight at Sox Russo Stadium on a chilly night. Southside, the Rams, claim the Big 7 Conference Championship by way of a 49-15 victory over Union. For my partner James Dotson, for all of our crew working here tonight in the elements, we bid you good night. We'll talk to you Thursday afternoon from Summit Academy where Union's back in action. And then again, don't forget, Friday night, Mohawk Neshannock next week to close out the MAC Conference and crown a champion in the MAC. We'll talk to you then. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.